What's good, everybody? Fitzpatrick is here. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. I super appreciate you all already in here chatting. I've seen you over here, and hello to everybody and everybody that may or may not join here in the future. As you can see, I'm not joined by Andrew tonight. I am joined by a good friend of mine, Jimmy from the Python Bro. Now, I was telling him this, and I told him this. This is a personal thing between him, but I have a lot of respect for this guy. His moral compass is right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of respect for him, and he's been somebody I've actually been able to talk to. Kind of, hey, it's a problem. Kind of digging at me instead of messing with me. Kind of just talk with me. Let me vent out some stuff. So I'm in debt to you. But this guy also has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to reptiles. But what I like to pick his brain about is rats. Before we talk about that, I'm going to talk about why Andrew's not here. He's not feeling well, running a fever, and I hope you're feeling better, Andrew, if you see this. We were going to talk about live feedings and kind of have this third debate. Well, last minute petition came up. I actually had a thing scheduled to talk about rats on this date with Jimmy from the Python Bro. But when these things kind of come up last second, they're kind of important and may affect a lot of us in the channel. We were definitely going to feed in that tonight. And if Jimmy was going to pop in, we were going to add him into the mix and then talk about some of the rat stuff. Like I said, we can go a little bit longer than normal now that I'm doing Saturday nights. But we wanted to tackle this because it was something that was happening immediately. Now, that said, this petition is ended. And I don't know if they just take them down when they end or if they got canceled. But there was a petition up. It had to do with a lot of different feedings, animal feedings, not just from reptiles, but reptiles was a big part of it. And of course, it was the same old stuff that we've heard for neons. I mean, forever. This is not the first petition that's gone up about animal feedings and stuff, but this one had a lot of traction, like 61,000 signatures before it ended up closing. Now, Andrew actually had a lot of this information he was going to be able to, that we were going to be able to post different links to, and I just don't have that information. And as I've told you guys a million times, I'm not going to come to you with empty hands and tell you, hey, this is a bunch of fact without having it in my hand. So I'm just going to apologize to you right now and tell you what I know. And I don't have anything facts to show you directly. And I do want to have this discussion. I think it's best if we wait until Andrew is feeling a little bit better, maybe in the next day or two. So I will be doing a live in the next day or two for two reasons. One, I want to discuss that. Also, I have some eggs to cut. So probably about an hour before one of the other awesome people in our community do their lives, whether it be Iron Animal Show, Ball Python Love, or any of them, I will probably go on for about an hour with Andrew to discuss this stuff and cut a clutch of eggs live. So that is my plan. So I am very sorry if you're coming here. Maybe you're amped up. I still would like to talk more about this issue tonight if you want to. And I do want to ask Jimmy his opinion on these things. So I will be putting a link down below here shortly. There's not a whole lot of people in here right now, so I'll probably repeat a little bit of this here shortly. I will put a link down here if you want to join it and discuss that. But before we do that, I do want to discuss some rat care stuff. Jimmy is my rat care guy for a lot of reasons. But the biggest reason is this one thing that we always preach, and that is you get advice from somebody and then you research. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what I did. And I'll tell you, once I started working my rats, probably not exactly as he does it, because I mean, you can only learn so much over conversation, you know what I'm saying? But I've noticed a big difference in my rats. So if rat breeding is something you're into or you're interested in, and maybe you want to listen to this, because I think he's got a lot of nice little tips. And I'm talking just different things from feeding, maybe feeding right before you cull them, you know, things, a bunch of different stuff. So Jimmy, if you could just real quick introduce these people, introduce yourself to these people, because they're amazing people. I know you haven't had a whole lot of time with work and everything, but this is an awesome community.
It's been crazy. What's up, Chris? I seen my chat was on private, but I'm Jimmy with the Python Bro. Been doing this since about 2013, give or take-ish. So it's been a little while. When it comes to rats, I just put a wall in my garage about a year ago and really upped my production because I was losing production with seasons because it would get too hot in the summer and then too cold in the winter. So we'll lose 2 seasons. But I'm battling with that now.
You find that the temperature fluctuations can really affect what's
Oh,
happening with
absolutely.
rat breeding.
If it's too hot or too cold, you're not going to get any production at all. So I find that my sweet spot's around 74 to 76 degrees. You know, give or
Perfect.
take a little too. You know.
See, that's something we
But
haven't discussed, but that's what my rat room stays. That whole room back
right.
there, all year round.
Also,
Like
I
that.
like to keep it about as low, about 30% humidity. Um, that's going to make cleaning so much easier because everything's not stuck and caked in the tubs. It just scrapes right out. I've switched over to hemp bedding. That
You
helps
have
a ton. Yeah, that helps a ton with smell. I mean,
done.
I could go a week, a little bit of ammonia smell, but I'm gonna tell you the dehumidifier really helps take that ammonia smell out of the air. I also run a grow filter, a big carbon
Right.
filter
Yep.
to help circulate the air and clean it. But just those things in combination has really been helping me. I'm actually been advertising on Facebook and trying to find somebody local, just one person that has a collection that I could help support and just help me with rats because it's getting expensive.
Yeah.
Plus, I had to buy another freezer because I'm filling them up so fast. It's insane, and
Well,
I'm only breeding from 6 colonies. That's it.
yeah. See now, and you are breeding the ASFs.
I
We
I, I
you have
actually yeah, I actually got rid of that about a year and a half ago. I wasn't feeding them that much, and I really wanted to make rats the main staple for the reason of everybody doesn't have access. I know that they've been getting out there and everything. Everybody's been feeding them, but everybody doesn't have that. So
not everybody can have them in their state.
yeah,
And
so I
so
want to just make it. I want to be able to sell to everybody. So I don't want to have that snake that's just been fed on ASFs and then they go to them and then have trouble getting it to eat.
right now, you actually offered me a colony. We were going to meet at Tinley, but unfortunately, just schedules didn't.
Right. Yeah, that was that was a while
And
ago.
I was really gonna just feed those off with my breeder females. I thought that was kind of the route that I was gonna go with them.
Right.
But my females eat so fine, are just fine on these rats, and they stay pretty healthy. So I just and also I'm not supposed to have them here. But again, I mean,
Right.
I'm in the UP. Michigan's not allowed to do a lot of things, but the
Right.
UP is not Michigan. It's not Wisconsin. Most people think it's part of Canada. They don't even realize, you know what I mean? So we really are under the radar for everything. I
Yeah.
mean, so I could pretty much get away with it, but I was going to do that and keep that for my females because I thought that was going to be, and I was going to kind of, feed them on a 5-day schedule with them. You know what I mean?
But the only drawback to that is that as your collection grows and you transition to new things, then you got those females eating ASFs, and that's what
and
I've explained to other people too. It's it's a gray area.
right, right, right. Um, Real quick, I see some people join. I just want to say that I'm sorry we're not discussing necessarily that petition. The petition has closed. The petition also, I'm sorry I didn't say this earlier, was not necessarily through YouTube. It was a change.org type deal. There was 61,000 signatures on it, but it closed out and has gone. Now, Andrew was able to capture some links and had some information on this stuff as well, but he is sick. He's not feeling well. He wasn't able to join us tonight. I did have an interview scheduled with the Python Bureau about rats and stuff, and I wasn't sure if he was going to make it or if we were going to be able to do it. And I also wanted to add in this petition thing. My landlord just showed up here, and she wants to try and get me to read my thing because she's catching me here right now, but she doesn't realize that I am live on the air. So you might hear me tell her, "Yo, I'm live. Get lost." But anyway, so thank you, Jimmy, for joining us tonight. And I think this is going to be pretty helpful for a lot of people out there. Now, oh, good, she's leaving, so you can see that I have the sign that says on the door, says on air. I wasn't sure if she was going to catch that or not. But yeah, that's nice. I hate that. She sees that I'm seeing her too, but oh well. I don't owe you no money, lady. Get lost. So thank you everybody for joining, and we are going to reschedule that petition talk about reptile feeding because I actually want to get a lot of people involved in it. I want to hear everybody's side, and I want to see what kind of conclusions we can come to. But again, Jimmy's been a wealth of knowledge with these rats, and so we are going to talk some rat care. And again, I'm very sorry this may not get a lot of hopes up. People are like, what's going on? What's going on? There was no. Keep in mind, YouTube has rules, and there's not any rules necessarily being broken by feeding your animals on YouTube at this time. So nothing's happening right this second. But again, I will plan on going live again early this week, probably in a day or two, because I have a clutch of eggs to cut, and hopefully we can get Andrew on at that time as well before one of the other shows starts. So it'll be a little bit earlier. All right. So anyway, we were talking about rats, and so you're not doing ASFs anymore.
Nah, I stopped about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I'm just strictly doing rats and mice.
Rats and mice.
Yep.
I don't know if you've been able to keep up lately, but I'm actually going to be moving everything out of here and bringing it home with me, probably for the next 6 months, possibly even up to a year, just to save as much money as possible. So
Right.
that when we move into our new home, buy a new house, we don't have any
I
problem.
remember you buying a building and selling it, and then it's been off and on. I've been so busy, it's just been crazy. Trying to just get back on a normal schedule, because my old schedule, I worked really early in the morning so I could take care of everything in the afternoon and then have the evening free to do what I want. But now I get off later, so it's like crunch time when I get home, and it's just been
Well, it's definitely good to see you. We haven't talked in a while. It's definitely good to see you. Now, how's your breeding going? Before we go with the rats, how's your breeding season with ball pythons going?
It's actually going really, really good. I think I'm going to have to buy another hatchling rat. I think I'm going to get about 22 clutches this year. I've already got 4. Yeah, I've already got 4. I'm waiting on one any day. All of my clutches have been late so far. I don't know why. They've been about 5 days late. I have really a clutch due every week for until June 11th.
Nice.
So it's there's a lot coming, and then there's a lot of ovulations getting ready to happen. It's
That's good. That's good. I'm actually having
on.
a decent season myself, which is nice, because the last couple of seasons just haven't been super nice to me. Just stuff out of my control too, which is really harmful. Which I know I won't have that much of a problem at the house. I've already insulated the room differently so it can withstand the horrible winters if we're still in there. But I definitely save a couple of bucks. Now, what's your big projects? Like, come on, what's going on? I know you do all neat stuff. You got any of those? You got any of those?
I got some
really,
really good stuff coming. I got some puzzle stuff coming. I got a couple coral glow females that are possibly Gene X back to a Gene X male. So, let me rephrase that. Coral glow het pied, possible Gene X, which I know one is going back to a Gene X pied male. So I'm hoping to hit on some fireworks there.
Yeah, me too. You do the payment for it?
I got my Firefly Clown girl finally went this year. She ovulated for me, bred to the vanilla het clown that I got. So hoping to hit on some vanilla cream or vanilla stream clowns. My other clown female went for me. So she's a pastel clown, and I bred her to a pinstripe het desert ghost. So possibly hit on some lemon blasts, het clown, pos het DG stuff. I got a lot of little stuff going on.
Yeah, see that desert ghost stuff, man. I wish I would have got it. I'm so stupid. I was going to too. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a big move. This is gonna be what it was. Because I could. That puzzle is just too. That's expensive. My wife's not about the puzzle money. She's just not.
Yeah.
But I am. You know what I mean? That's all that matters at the end of the day. And she's not here.
Yeah, I possibly got a pod desert ghost combo. Possibly could hit this year. A visual double recessive.
Now I've got 2 snakes from you. And let me tell you, that female, I don't power feed them growing, but she's coming up on her 3rd year. You know what I'm saying? And so now I've been able to start feeding her every 5 days, and she's really started to put it on. Now she's just a pastel female, right? Just a pastel female, as far as I know. Well, gonna put her to work here pretty soon, you know. So
That's
I'm
good.
pretty excited about. Now your man that I got from me, I got my GHI 100% het lavender albino,
Yeah.
and this was a big deal for me. I mean, this has been a long time, you know. Like you know
I see you missed.
the one
Yeah.
clutch that I got from him, man, I got 10 eggs originally, and I ruined 2 eggs by accident. I let the door slam of the incubator right as I was leaving. The water dropped right down from the top overnight. Didn't even know about it, and it was bad. It was bad, and it was too early to save and too late to save at the same time. The eggs were too
Right.
early. The timing was too late.
It
But
happens.
but you know, I got 8 really nice eggs, and then 4 normals and 4 mommies. Not one GHI, not one GHI combo, but I have 2 females. I have a clutch and incubator right now from him, and I have 2
That's good.
females that have ovulated from him. So I'm getting my GHI Mojave that's going to be Posset for lavender
Right.
albino.
I'm actually breeding him to a visual, or his brother to a visual VPI this year, a visual VPI female.
Oh,
So
so you're going for those the double hets on
put
that?
on some possible double head VPI snows or lavender snows.
Nice. You know, I wasn't thinking about it, and I probably should have because I put my um, Xanthic, my VPI, I put with my Killer Pride this season. I could have put her with that guy because
Hmm.
she's a het lavender,
Oh, is
but
she? Oh, that's awesome. So
I
she's a
didn't.
visual head.
She's a Posset lavender. Sorry, she's Posset snow.
Oh well, just to
It
prove
got it
her out.
from Logan and Dave, right? And I could have proved her out that way. So maybe next season that's what I'll do with her. So I'll have a bunch of pastel double het for VPI Xanthic as well as Pied, 100% on both.
That's good.
So that's my double het going this season. Now, you got any clutches in the incubator at all?
I got four
You got 4.
clutches now, and I think
You're
another
definitely going late.
6. Yeah, I
I
got
thought
a.
I was going late.
Yeah, nah. My first eggs are due to pip on the 24th of June. So it's like I was running late, and then all of them started ovulating at once. It was like, oh no, ovulation after ovulation. So
I never really
um,
match my season with anybody else anyway, because it always seems to be off from other people's stuff, you know, time of year.
right.
I mean, I'm sure it has a lot to do with my climate in general.
I've actually been going off of what Justin said the previous year when they lay, just start pairing them after 7 months and kind of go like clockwork. So
Yeah, it seems to be when they start to build and you know, when they start to get hungry again, and
yeah,
um, definitely pretty nice. All right, now I do want to get back into rats. I just wanted to kind of find out what's going on. Now I know you got some puzzle stuff going on, and
hmm
can't lie to my wife. I just got to make the deal sweet enough, you know. She knows though. The funny thing is
well,
she knows when I tell her it's like, look, this will make money, and then it makes money, and then she's happy as
unfortunately.
all get out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I may not have some for sale unless I hit on like two males. I'll definitely let go of one male, but
Come on, Jimmy.
holding on to the females. If I hit any females, and male, of course, I gotta be able to plug him in and make some
I
heads.
don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't, man.
But yeah, very soon, I can give you a good deal on some pass heads or 66%.
Well, yeah. Listen, I'm in. I'll be talking to you about that. We'll talk about that stuff later. Hello, everybody. Just in case you haven't joined and haven't heard already, I know a few of you may have just joined. I want to thank you for joining in here. It's my buddy Jimmy from the Python Bar, if you don't know. I cannot put a link, but you can, Jimmy. I mean, oh, wait, I can. So while I'm talking, I will go and find his link to his YouTube channel. But Jimmy and me have been friends for a long time. And he's been one of the people that I kind of go to talk to about a few different things. But rats are kind of the big one that he's helped me out a lot with. So I like to introduce you all to him with his rats. Let me go to videos here, so it actually says Python Bros videos. But yeah, you taught me some. You told me some tricks with the rats that I've tried. That man, that's kind of the way to go. So no, can you just kind of give people a short rundown on what do you primarily feed your rats, and
I
when do
feed
you do?
them Missouri. Well, I feed them. I just top their hoppers off with
Oh, it's not, right?
Missouri. Yeah, Missouri 6F. And then for treats, sometimes after cleaning, I'll give them just organic vegetables or fruits or stuff like that. You know,
Now, is there
apples.
certain things that you want to steer away from as treats?
Yeah, um, I think it's like a lot of like spinach and stuff like that isn't good for rats. I thought it was, but
Me too, and that's why I asked you that
apparently it's
question
not.
because
Um, I normally just stick to like carrots and apples, and I believe kale is okay, but
mhm.
I can't remember. It's been a while since
I
I
think
had
kale is
like
the
a
one
bunch of
that I
those.
think kale is the one that when we were talking before that I was looking up and then I just felt stupid buying it at the supermarket. So
Yeah,
you don't buy that stuff in the UP. The kale, I have no
right.
idea.
I do also. I
Boy
heard you
wants
say
kale.
I gut load them too. As right before I euthanize, I'll feed them like a
Now,
bunch of carrots.
now, what do you mean by gut loading them? Well, why would you do that?
Uh, just benefit the snakes. I mean, it's all everything that you feed your animals goes into your snakes, and if you can't feed your snake vegetables, but if your rat is full of vegetables before they have a
A lot of
chance to
good
process
vitamins
it,
that snakes would
yeah,
never get.
it's not getting processed. I mean, they're still getting some of the vitamins through the rats, but I mean, they're not getting all the vitamins that the
Right.
carrot,
But
they
they're
plant.
getting more than they would, which is a great. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, with snakes, you'll see a difference.
yeah,
You'll see
and
a difference.
I euthanize all mine. So I just put them in a gas chamber, a CO2 chamber, and I put them to sleep, and then I freeze them.
Yeah, yeah. Now
So
you don't have any live feeders. You only eat live.
uh, I have maybe like one or two, and it's like I don't really like to feed live because they can really hurt the snake. And I mean, I don't like the animals to suffer. And I know it's nature. I know, everybody's like, well, that's how you're supposed to feed them. And I'm like, well, I mean, they're at my house, not in the wild. So I
Right.
like to be able
They're
to control what they're
yeah. No,
doing.
I agree. I find that I have a few that are funny. They're frozen thawed, but after a while they just want alive.
Yeah.
And every
And I
now and
have that.
then with my hatchlings, I always feed them frozen thawed, and then alive before I end up putting them on the morph market. Mainly because I don't know if people can get the live
Well,
or frozen thawed or
I don't even put anything on Morph Market until it's on frozen thawed. I don't even list it like until
yeah,
it's
no,
had
yeah,
a lot of frozen thawed meals, so that way they have an option. If they have to feed live, I get it; it's their animal, but I want to be sure that the animal's going to thrive wherever it goes, so they
right,
don't have to
exactly.
try to get it to on frozen thawed if that's what they want.
Well, I've had a lot of problems with live with baby snakes and just spooking them and throwing them right off.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I
I've
do
had that
is I
issue.
put the smallest, you know, it's like a fuzzy, but it's a little bit, if it's a mouse, something that's just crawling around, nothing that's going to jump around and run around.
Right.
One of those ones that'll crawl up and snuggle to the snake more than spook it. Um, a lot of the feeders that say I'll do a trick, I'll put in like a rat pup or something just a little bit bigger than a rat pup on those ones that the adults that want live. So they'll eat that and they'll still be hungry. So then I'll take the thawed rat, put it under my light,
And I
give it
go
that
right on. Yeah.
heat signature, bam. There's a little trick for those who want to switch their animals to frozen thawed or ones that are big that only want live. That way the rat can't bite your animal.
Yeah, I've actually had a bite the other day on one of my snakes from a live, and you sit right there. I mean, but you can only be so quick. You know what I mean? And I was able to,
Yeah.
but it's a horrible pain in the butt thing, and I don't feel great about it. Um, you know, when it comes to now I do a lot of strawberries on the strawberries and carrots is what I do kind of
Okay.
like the day before or the day of, um, and that's what I use. I was doing the spinach as well for a while, and
Yeah.
then I found
Well,
that it's a kidney issue.
the rats actually process the stuff so fast. Like I've put it in there and forgot about them, and they've already started pooping orange. Like if I put a bunch of carrots in there, that's why I try to do it within a certain window and
Right.
then euthanize them. So that way, I get, I didn't realize, their digestive tract works that quick.
That quick.
Yeah, it's like they're pooping orange already. I'm like, good night.
I just want to see if there's any. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore the chat. As you all know, if I end up talking with somebody, I always go back and then we discuss anything I see in the chat on a future live. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I don't want y'all thinking that's what's going on here. But I do appreciate you coming in, Jimmy, especially with our boy Andrew getting sick. Now I know we did have this scheduled, but again, I wasn't sure. You know what? And you're right.
Right.
I believe now you said that was the day you could do it.
Right.
But in my defense, I have talked to a lot of people over the last couple of weeks about coming in to do lives, and most of them haven't been able to do it. Haven't been able to do it when I was able to do it there, but we've been able to schedule, and it gets crazy. So,
well, I put it on my calendar just to make sure because I had a lot of stuff coming up and just so many like events like in the evening. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna run over. And I just wanted to be able to.
I would definitely like you to be part of the roundtable whenever you can jump in here. And again,
the
roundtable don't necessarily always have to be on my channel either. So if you feel like doing a live one night, we'd love to be able to jump over on your channel as well. And everybody really should give you a subscribe and follow if they haven't already. Again, just a really good guy that I just totally respect in the hobby. And you've always been solid, and we've known each other for quite a long time now, Another one of those people that stuck strong when they could see that somebody was, causing some mischief or just to be, not nice, and seen right through the bull crap right away, which was really nice because, in those kind of situations, you don't want to necessarily defend yourself too much because it gives what the person's saying some clout. You know what I'm saying? And in that situation, it was like trying to prove to somebody that I don't like the caviar. Like I have to prove to you that I don't like caviar. How do you prove to somebody you don't like the taste of caviar? You know what I mean? It's impossible. I don't like it. There, it's proof. Right. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate that.
There's always going to be those people out there that just want to call out people for no reason and just I don't understand why they do it, but I tend to just let it roll off my back because I got more important things to worry about.
Yeah. Well, I think we all do, and that has a lot to do with the gripes you see with these Facebook groups and on here on YouTube and with everything. You know what I mean? It's just not necessary. I am totally okay with disagreeing with somebody and not having to dislike them because I disagree with them. You know what I mean? Unless they're saying they like pedos and that I should like pedos, then I'm probably not going to be friends. But if it's just somebody's opinion on something, I don't see why I would.
Everybody does stuff different.
Yeah, I don't see why I would ever get upset about something like that. Thank you very much, Handpay, for that. Appreciate that. I seen you've been hitting some pretty decent slots lately, so congratulations to you, my friend. Seen Rob jumped in there. My neighbor upstairs, or maybe he's downstairs. I'm not sure where he's at right now, but thank you for jumping in here, Rob. Good to see you, my friend. So you kind of touched on this. So let's talk a little bit about this. It's kind of be the elephant in the room, and maybe this will be a good debating subject. And Derek, yes, I'd love to have you on sometime. I seen your comment. Don't think I didn't. Now, I think me and you share the same feeling with live feedings. I don't necessarily do them. I don't necessarily watch a lot of live feeding videos, mostly because I've been doing this for 20 years and I've seen a lot of this stuff. And I mean, to see something eat a big rabbit or a big pig is not something that I haven't seen 1,000 or a million times over. And I don't necessarily, I can't speak for what somebody else is feeding. My personal opinion is what you do on your channel is what you do on your channel. You know what I mean? There's really nothing I could do, even if I wanted to, about that. But I think if it's done in the normal way that you would feed your animal, I don't think it's a problem, even if it's live. Just because I don't necessarily feed live or enjoy it. But again, I'm a kind of a sissy. I love my rats, man. I hang out with my rats a lot. You know what I mean? And I know that they got a service to do. You know what I mean? So I just try to respect that out of that angle. But I don't necessarily have a problem with anybody doing live feedings on video. Now, how do you feel about that in general? And like I said, you can always be honest here. Nobody in this chat's going to hold that against anybody.
I think that I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just think that if you got people in the middle that can't choose what they want to do, if they want to be a reptile person or they don't, I think it could push them away seeing live feedings and stuff like that, even though they know that's what animals eat.
Right.
Now,
So you
like I
think it's
said,
possible that
they could
it
think
could be
it's
looked
vicious,
at in a bad right. They could be just looked at in a light of, I told you those things are mean and nasty. Look what it just did. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's possible. I can't speak for
No,
everybody though.
right.
That's just not.
No, I agree. I agree. I think that's really the only issue I probably have with any live feeding is just what we're putting out there to the public. We might know the ins and outs of it, but if you don't explain that, people might not realize this and just find that
Right.
you're putting this out here for a fun video.
Right.
So what I think, and this is just what I'm saying, and I definitely want to get into depth with this more and actually have a live like I thought this was going to be tonight about this. I think it's important. But I think we've all done a really good job of policing ourselves in this community, and I think it's been that way for a very long time. And I think if we continue to do a good job of policing what we do, um, we can do what we want to do at the same time. We can have our cake and eat it too.
Right.
Luckily for me, nobody in here, when they put the rat or they put some crazy bucket of kittens in with a big snake or something, they don't do that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So which is really cool. But and at first saying this, I was thinking, is it really artistic? But it is. These guys are putting some video, and I'm talking about some friends of mine on here. They're putting some videos out, and again, I don't watch a lot of the stuff, but with the frog stuff, you know, it's really crazy how they could just eat the things that they eat. I mean,
Right.
without any problem at all. It even myself at 46 years old, who's seen a lot of stuff, still goes, how'd that thing just eat a chicken? You know what I mean?
Right.
And out in the wild, these things will eat birds that fall out of nests all the time, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff. But none of the people in my community, I can say, they ain't got cockfights going on. You know what I mean? There's not a live stream with a bunch of bets going on who's going to win this, that, or the other. You know, and I think that's where it crosses the line. So I think if we police ourselves, you know what I mean, and we draw the line on what is acceptable and what is not, I think is a lot better than if we let a group of people that don't even know about reptiles draw that line for us.
Yeah.
And what that entails, I don't really know. How much responsibility of that is ours and somebody else's.
Yeah. I just think that like a new person getting on there and be like, oh man, that's horrible. Look, this frog just ate a live mouse or a live rat or, like you said, a live chick or something like that. I mean,
You know, but there's a lot of people that watch that same video, and I'm playing devil's advocate here because I
right.
just
There is a lot of people that like it.
that look at that and go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get me one of these frogs. You know what I mean? And some of them put kittens in with the frog. You know, but some say, wow, this thing is really neat, and they learn a little bit more about it, and
Right.
And it grows into something. You know, I think sometimes those exciting things and those
Right.
things that may be taboo.
It could intrigue people. Yeah, it could intrigue people.
Yeah. You know, I don't think, you know, I also think that there's some cases where people are just looking for some blood, guts, and some tearing ass and those type of things. And hey, to each their own. But at the same time, like I'm saying, you know, how much responsibility is ours? Now, I said earlier in a short video that if they cancel reptile videos on YouTube, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing, selling reptiles, because I don't make much of anything from YouTube, so it's not like it's paying any bill. It pays for itself, you know, when I do things. So I'm not going to be hurt. But a lot of my friends out here that do respectful live feeding videos, and they're kind of known for them. And again, you know, it's not something that I necessarily do, only because I get attacked differently with business license and things like that. It's funny how that stuff works, but you really do. And that's why you don't see a lot of these bigger YouTubers doing a ton of these live feeding videos. And when I say bigger, I mean business selling of snakes. They have, you know, places to do this, you know, licenses and stuff. These people aren't necessarily going to be hurt from this, but a lot of my friends that are just starting to really pick up in YouTube, they are primarily doing videos with a lot of feeding stuff because it sells.
So is YouTube talking about demonetizing all these channels?
Well, YouTube's always played with the idea of animal videos of not just necessarily reptiles. I mean, there's always been animal abuse. I mean, things are getting tougher every day too with YouTube as far as guidelines. So I mean, eventually, I think they're going to cookie cut everybody into to their own mold. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
my
I've taken a break for a while now. I've just been so busy and just taking a breather. Just lost the passion for YouTube because I'm just looking for content that's interesting. So sometimes it's kind of hard to do. And I kudos to all those people. I give everybody props out there who can continuously put up great content. And I miss some of the channels that I watch all the time. And it's just been a while. And you know, um, I'll get back into YouTube here soon. Get my eggs cut and just try to find different
Well,
ways
you
to
got a lot of
spice the
stuff up there
channel
for
up.
people to go check out right now already. So there's still a lot of good information on there, a lot of cool stuff on there, um, as of right now. So again, if anybody hasn't already, you can always go over there and click on that link I just sent you. And that's Jimmy's deal, and he's also on Instagram as well, right?
Uh-huh.
You can go check him out there. And best thing about Jimmy is if you have any questions, um, he is really a good person to ask. He might not be able to get back to you right the second you message him on one of those platforms, um, but he's one of those people. He's like I told him earlier. There's a few people out there that um, I'm gonna say morally, are morally just focused. You know what I mean, and haven't wavered from that, which is the majority of people I know, which is nice. Um, but I've always respected them for that. So I trust your word. You know what I mean, and you all can too. And again, you still want to always research. But
Oh
definitely good
yeah,
to talk
Apple
to you.
D research.
Now, what kind of rats are you breeding right now?
Just Norways, and then just regular lab mice.
Right
Um,
now, how much mice are you doing? See, I'm moving all this back to my house. I can't be breeding rats over there, but I
well, right
really
now
breed some
I have
mice.
6 colonies. And then I have 2 grow-up colonies because the mice seem to not last as long as the rats. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
um, mainly what I breed the mice for is everything that I'm selling, because the mice, the larger hopper mice that I feed, the snakes grow a lot slower. It's a slow grow. People were like, "Oh, well, that's a maintenance feeding and da 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 da." I was like, "Look, my
I
meat,
do the same thing with
yeah,
rats. I don't feed them mice, but I do the same thing. I leave them a smaller
right,
rat pup. Then I don't
right."
overdo them for a while.
Well, I just do a mouse hopper because it's just a little bit less protein. That's all.
Mm.
But they get the appropriate size meal every week. I've bought snakes in the past where people have on the feeding cards where they fed them once every other week, and it was a small meal. Once every 3 weeks, it was a small meal. I'm not going to call out people's names, but to me, that's maintenance feeding. When I got the animal, it was small. It was like almost a year old, and it was tiny. You
Listen,
know,
there's never been a ball python that I had that I didn't feed every 7 days at least at
7
minimum,
days, every
unless
7 days.
unless it was a female that was gravid or maybe a male that has kicked it for a very short time. But
Right,
there's a lot of ways to get your snakes back on food if they go off of food.
right.
It's not always they're just in that season so they don't want to eat. That's not always the case. You usually can always get them back on.
I
Little
switched
try to
just to every 7 days, really. I found that if you feed a female a larger meal, just a little bit larger than what they're normally getting, it'll put a lump in them once a week. That female is going to get bigger than you think. Or, I
and
mean,
that's
it's
what I
going to
do.
quicker than you think.
Just
Um,
well, not with all of them. I'm lying about that. All my females are 1,500 to 2,500 grams. I bump their food, but my big girls, I can't give them nothing more than a medium sized rat because
oh,
they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah. I don't
overweight.
want to. Yeah,
They're gonna
once they're
overweight,
up
and
the
that's the worst
size,
thing.
yeah, once they're up the size, you can cut it down. But if you're trying to get that female up the
Healthy.
size, I would just feed them a little bit larger meal, not a gigantic meal to where they can barely swallow it. But I've noticed that when I was a long time ago learning and feeding twice a week, or once every 5 days, I found that a large meal every 7, they tend to grow faster.
Yeah, see, I do the every 5 days. As soon as my females, as soon as I'm going to start breeding those females, that's usually when I start them on a 5 day thing, and then they just get the medium size, the regular size meal. But I have started with the bigger meals on those females to kind of get them to go, because once they hit that 2.5, 3 year mark, that's when I'm not so worried anymore. But until then, I don't grow any of my females fast at all, or my hatchlings. Same thing like you were saying. I give an appropriate sized meal. I heard somebody recently like, yeah, just give them a little bit bigger meal than they normally would take. I've actually had some issues with that. If you
Oh,
ever
really?
have baby snakes if you ever have a baby snake that ends up having an issue to where it'll take a meal, but it ain't going to the bathroom. Well, sometimes it's just a little too big of a meal for the starting off. You don't want to start off with that big meal. Again, this is my opinion over the last 20 years and having run into issues. I noticed when I've done stuff like that,
Right.
I've lost some snakes actually that way, that just were not going to, they couldn't pass their ball. And when they're that
Right.
young, um, it poisons them. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate
I haven't
it.
had huge meals, but just a little bit, so you could see a little bump in them. But other than that, I mean, normally that works. I don't want to hurt them or feed them too much to where they can't, pass it.
Now, I don't like to ask necessarily a generic question, but at the same time, I don't think I really know. What exactly started you on the ball pythons themselves? I mean, how did that cross your path? Because I know that and
I
also I have another question for you that I just thought of. I don't know if you can
I
answer it, but
dated a girl a long time ago, and
it's always a
I
girl.
showed her, yeah, I showed her these geckos I wanted to get into. It was Phelsuma grandis, the giant day geckos, and so we got those and started breeding them. And then she took me to a reptile show, and I just seen it all. And then I got on World of All Pythons, and I was hooked. So
Well,
it
ball
started.
pythons. Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
started
know,
from there.
I didn't even realize for years that there was, because I bred in the forum years. There wasn't the YouTube or any of that stuff. That was kind of my beginning. Luckily for me, I didn't have as much headaches as a lot of people out there, because I had a really good friend of mine that I met when I was younger, and I would just sell him rat snakes that scout camp would have me come out and catch all the rat snakes.
Right.
Right after summertime in Florida, because it gets pretty cold. They go into the bathrooms, they get the toilets and the tanks and stuff like that. And I would go and have to take them out, and believe it or not, the scouts camp didn't want them at all in their area, which I always thought was kind of weird, because you're supposed to care about that stuff there. But I don't know. Regardless, I would just sell them to this guy, and he give me a couple bucks. But he really held my hand through a lot of this. So I was really lucky. But back in the forum days, there wasn't any. It almost turned you off of getting into this thing. So it was really cool that you were able to go to the reptile show. And I didn't know that there was such a community about reptiles. I mean, I was doing moto vlogs and breeding snakes for years and years and years on YouTube, and didn't even know that there was a community. I never even thought to even look. It was crazy. So, what was your first snake then? Did you buy it at the show at a show?
No, my first snake was my Brazilian rainbow that I have. She's big now. She's probably close to 7 foot. Um,
That's big for a rainbow.
yeah, I haven't. I thought about breeding her, but I just got to be ready for a large litter since she's a pretty old female. And but I thought it'd be nice to breed her once, but
Right.
we'll see how it goes.
I seen a friend of mine in here, Jimmy Medham. I seen he was in here. I'm not sure if he still is, but he actually just lost his rainbow bow. He just passed away.
Mm,
So sorry about that, my friend. If you're still in here, I did see you jump in, and I just want to thank everybody for joining. I'll definitely go through comments in case I missed something. I did plan on having a show again. I'm just going to kind of update. I was planning on doing a talk, last minute kind of thing happened earlier this week. There was a petition out to stop all live feedings on YouTube, not just with reptiles, but reptiles was actually named in a pretty decent part of the paragraph, to where normally when they put this petition out, it's mostly about dogs and slaughter farms and cockfights and things like that. This one really emphasized on the reptiles. I had over 61,000 signatures at the time, but it actually went off. I actually saved the page, go back to it, it's not there. So I don't know if that happens when it ends. I don't know how that exactly works, but I don't have that in front of me. And Andrew has taken ill, has a fever. Andrew, if you're listening, hope you watch this later. I hope you're feeling better, my friend, and no worries at all. I also had a schedule with Python Bro to talk about some rat stuff. Um, Again, I was feeding my rats. I was doing the Missouri as well. But I was doing, and I haven't done this anymore. I was feeding them off and on with a venison dog food. This is a natural venison dog food that the rats did really well on. They did better than they do on the Missouri. But it's so expensive. It's way more expensive. So that went out the door.
The dog food was?
Yeah, it was. It was, and I know people are like dog food to your rats. This wasn't a regular like dog food stuff. This stuff is made. I'll do a video about it someday. I don't use it anymore though because it's really expensive, and I think it's a little too high in protein. So if you're not supplementing it with something else, you might not want to do it. And that's what I was doing. I was using the Missouri and that for a while, and then I started using just that for a little bit, but I don't anymore. I just stick to Missouri. It's your safest bet. It really is. And it's really good if you can get like your tractor supply or something to be able to get you the right stuff. That would be really nice. I have to order all mine.
Yeah, I got a Gowers that I go pick mine up from. A Gowers feed. I don't know if there are any Gowers feed where you are.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of feeds. That's the thing. There's a ton of feed stores around here, but for whatever reason, they don't hold any of that stuff in stock around here at
Yeah,
all.
that's like mine.
They won't even order it. When I'm like, well, I know the other tractor supplies can get it, and they're just like, well, that don't mean we can get it. I'm like, oh, all right. Sounds weird. Okay. We got some topic conversation going on. If anybody would like to join us, by the way, and add your 2 cents, I will put a link in here. Now, Jimmy, nobody ever joins this. Whoa, I got something popping up. Nobody ever joins this. Sometimes I bust balls and I mess around a little bit. They don't want to jump on here, but I'm in a good mood, guys. I'm not busting nobody's balls or anything. But there is a link to the live if you want to jump in. We are talking about some rat care, but if you want to come in and talk about some live feeding, I do share, I think, a lot of the same views on the live feedings as well. It's not something I necessarily enjoy myself. Because of the way I care for my rats that I feed to my snakes and stuff like that. So it's not something that I'm like live feeding. As a lot of my friends know, I don't go around watching all their live feedings, but if they have something interesting that I haven't necessarily seen or I don't know much about, I definitely watch because I want to learn as much as I can possibly learn. And I think that there's a lot to learn in a lot of people's videos.
Right.
It is in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, and it's even hard for me to put them down sometimes because for me to acquire the rats and the mice and all, it took forever for me to find people just to sell me breedable rats. Like everybody around me, they didn't want to sell live females. Nope. It's just because obviously.
Well, in my area, they wouldn't sell males. You can get females, but they won't sell any males.
So I couldn't get anything. Like they wouldn't sell, like I had to drive, over 3 hours one way just to get the ASFs when I got them.
Well, crap, you were going to drive them all the way out from, you're in Pennsylvania, right?
No, I'm in West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia. Sorry. Yeah, you were going to drive them all the way to Tinley. Yeah. I was interested in how you're going to do that. I think those things can chew through anything.
I live about 15 or 20 minutes, about 30 minutes away from Daryl and Holly over at Exquisite Exotics.
Oh man, another two of my favorite people. Yeah,
they're awesome.
They're the mad scientists, man. They're pretty smart fellas and ladies. Smart fella and smart lady, for sure. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. And so everybody knows we still are doing the pedals and scales. Will be on the 19th, and I will be putting on my I will be putting out a video really soon where you could, if you just want to donate money or get involved, because I'm not sure how long we're going to last for donations. But like I said, we have quite a few already. There's still time to put stuff in, but in about another week or so, I'm going to start putting out their information and what you need to do to get involved with some of the prizes if you're interested in winning some of those prizes. So I'll be watching for that video here pretty soon. I do want to thank everybody who's joined already. Again, I will go back and read all comments after the show. We were going to talk about the petition that was out. Again, it's dropped down, and I want to say again that this is not the first petition. This actually happens all the time. But this one was worded in a way that hasn't been worded kind of before, and people were making a deal of it. Now that it's gone, I will have updated information on this in another day or so when we are actually able to do this live and talk about it with the facts in our hands instead of coming to you with empty palms. But Jimmy, the Python Bro, again, has joined us, and I thank you, Jimmy. I'll tell you, what are you doing with your GHI stuff right now? Like, you ain't going for no GHI lavender stuff? Like,
I am actually. I want to do it to where it's more percentage-wise in my favor. So I have
in the long haul then.
Right. Well, I'm breeding my GHI to a lavender now, and hopefully produce a GHI lavender visual. And then I have a Mojave het lavender male. So when he gets up to size, I'm going to put him to a female and try to produce the Mojave female visual, And
that's exactly where I want to go, as we talked about a few years ago.
And do some other stuff with lavender. I got, blackhead. I'm doing a blackhead Mojave to a lavender right now.
Okay, see, now I'm going genetic stripe with a lot of stuff here, and this is future stuff, everybody.
Right.
So don't be looking for some crazy genetic stripes to be coming out of my place, but I've seen some stuff that people haven't seen. Gary Meyer's done some stuff, and people are starting to learn about some combinations. So I'm actually going to go that way with the GHI and I got some plans. If it works out, again, it could come out a big muddy puddle. You know how that is. Sometimes when you put things together, things don't work out.
Well, I also have that black pastel lavender that I produced a couple years ago, or maybe it was a couple years ago, and I was going to put that into whatever I produce out of my GHI Blackhead Mojave combo that I got going now. So put that into that with black pastel and just make something super dark at lavender and then try to go from there.
Nice. All right, I just want to check over here in the chat. Yeah, I'm telling you, some G-stripes can be pretty cool. I mean, you throw that leopard in there, it really thickens up and straightens out those lines, makes it a solid thing. Now you start throwing some other stuff in there that kind of cleans things up. It changes some color. So I'm thinking some super orange dream, leopard genetic stripes, and then some GHI with some lavender, some genetic stripe stuff. That's just future stuff. I just think it'll be fun. Jerome, hello, my friend. I haven't been able to thank you personally. Thank you for donating 2 shirts and $150 gift card from you to the Pedals and Scales. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people in here that donated some stuff, but I haven't been able to talk to you yet. And thank you in person. So thank you. It means a lot to me, but it means a lot to everybody, man. It's a cool deal. Not to mention, I see you getting involved with so many people's stuff, dude. You look good on camera, man. I wish you would have went live longer at the Reptiles show. I wish I went with you. I want to hang out with that guy. Yeah, I think he's the guy you want to hang out with. He's gonna have enough fun for both of you. See, I can sit back, and not worry, just hang out. Oh man, Tavion's World of Reptiles, another awesome person. Thank you for joining, my friend. Thank you. And if you join and you're not blue, you'll be blue next time you jump in a live. I'll make sure I'll go back and check that out as well. I appreciate y'all. Sherry Madcat, Sherry, I got to talk to you as well. I'll probably message you on Instagram or something later this evening if I don't forget. Too many hits in the head. All right, I got people that joined down here probably 20 minutes ago, and I didn't even notice it.
What's up, Chris?
Well, what's going on, Jimmy?
Another day.
Well, thank you for joining, guys. I'm sorry, gals. All right, I didn't see you down there. I know how long you were waiting. I'm still new to the whole stream.
Like my logo I got, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah. I love it. You're the man.
Love that logo.
Love the shirt I got.
Yeah,
I don't have that shirt, and I do need that shirt. So
it feels great.
After I send Justin his pick shirt, I'm going to be sending Chris his, and hopefully we can do a shirt exchange because that is a cool shirt.
It feels really good.
All right, stop it. We're not going to get dirty about it, Sherry. You're heavy breathing, crap. This is a freaking It's an adult show, but come on.
I
Just come here
can't
and horn it up.
misbehave anyway because my husband's right beside me.
Oh, wow. You're a straight up sicko.
What's up, Daniel?
I've got my
But I'm totally into it, so go ahead. No, I'm kidding. Well, I appreciate y'all joining. Chris, are you still breeding your rats or no? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm still
your
breeding.
rats? Yeah,
Yeah,
are you
I'm breeding
feeding you feed Missouri as well?
I feed Missouri, and then I give them black oil sunflower seeds, and then other stuff, but fruits and stuff when I get them, for them. But mainly just Missouri. I'd like to get some Kent or I think they got the feed. Rob uses a new kind of stuff he gets over there in Kentucky, man. It's supposed to be really good, So.
Oh, we'll have to get Rob in here sometime. He's another person I gotta get on the channel. He does a lot of that stuff too. He's a big ratter. Well, now I can see all your racks there behind you now, Jimmy.
Yep.
Couldn't see it right side before. You need another hatching rack? What is that? That's the 70, isn't it? The 3070 or whatever it is. Jimmy, Python.
Oh, you're talking to me? Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
The hatching rack.
That's.
I didn't see it before. It wasn't in the shot because it was just
Well,
us two.
the hatching rack is a 1060 with 2 levels, so it's got 75, and then I got a 70-20, and then a 70-50. But I got a 55-40 upstairs, and then I'm probably gonna have to get another 75 rack because if every snake that I predict to go lays at least 6 eggs, yeah, it's going to be
I'm
a
in
lot.
that spot right now. I have one more egg in incubator than I do spaces in my hatching rack, my 1039.
Right.
So I have to bust out my old hand-built, horrible, horrendous, but it is what it is.
Whatever works,
Well, if I make some money off of this year, I'll be able to get another rack to add. That's how it goes. It don't start. You don't get it overnight. I mean, if you made a lot of good moves along the way, you might be able to, but not this guy.
People think you get rich quick. I mean, heck, I even got this little built one that I built a long time ago that holds 15 extra,
Yeah, well, I did get rid of a couple of my racks because they were just ones that I would, I'd kill everything in it. Frustrated one day with it. It's one of those ones where every time I pushed it in, the bowl would splash out. By the time I got it shut, and I
got rid of those too. I just threw them in the trash. I'm like, I can't.
That's what I did. Nothing worse. Nothing worse. Let me tell you, having these racks, for everybody out there that, oh man, my boy Derek's jumping in. I'm gonna put him in here. Sorry, Derek. I don't know how long you were there, but Derek, I want to introduce you to Jimmy from the Python Bro. If you get a chance to do an interview with Jimmy, I think you should. And Jimmy's a real busy dude, but he's a great guy. And I think he'd make one of those good interviews for you. And Jimmy from Python Bro, I would love for you to check out, and feel free to put your links in at any time for anybody.
Yeah, I think
check out some of his interviews. He's done some really. I like him. I like what he's doing. He's got a great energy about it. And he's serious about it. I appreciate it. I appreciate what you do, and I think you like him. I think it'll be a good interview. Something for you to do in the future.
Thank you.
Now, Sherry,
Yes.
what are you going to add to this? What have you been feeding live?
No, what I feed live is just basically
anything you cook.
Bugs.
Whoa.
Like you don't cook it? Never mind. Canadians don't get mad. You guys don't worry about it. I can say whatever I want to her. She can't get mad. It's impossible.
Pretty much.
These people are so sweet. They bleed maple syrup. Why? How could they be in a bad mood? Now,
anyway, I also talk to a lot of people who get into rats just as having pets, and I also talk to. Well, I'm normally around Patrick's Reptiles and Pets, and he does a lot to do with rats. He and Headhunter Zodics don't find ASFs to be as negatively mannered as other people do. And the regular ones, I don't know what it is. Patrick just has no problem with any rats, any of them.
So what you're saying is you're going to feed a rat to your dog live on camera?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well,
if
good.
Patrick
I don't want
has
to see that.
300 people, though, he says he's going to eat a baby rat.
I'll watch it. See,
Okay.
again, I'm not a fan of the idea.
But something different.
You gotta watch it. I'm
I keep
human,
on telling
man.
him,
You gotta
have
watch
your
it.
brother there or something, because you're going to end up in the hospital, kiddo.
Nah,
I think the mean rats are the ones that you try to feed off, and the snakes don't want it, and you got to put it back in the tub, because then they've been in there and they know they're
yeah,
the
they've
mean ones.
lived.
They're the main ones.
They got shell shock and the PTSD.
Yep, they are the main ones.
Now I've only been bit by one rat, and he didn't bite me because he was mad at me, or she was a she. She bit me because she chewed a hole through the thing, and I was showing my wife. I go, hey, look at this, they ate a thing, and I'm always feeding them, strawberry treats and stuff by finger. So I put it in there, and she grabbed my finger to try and bring it back to the back of the bin to share it with the others. And I was like, ouch, yo. And so that's I've been bit by a rat. And all mine are nice. I don't know, but I don't have any ASF rats.
But you
My
hang out
ASFs
with your
were
rats,
mean.
too.
You can ask Wes. I gave him my colony, and they were mean. They were mean.
Real just like as soon as you open the door, they're just like ready, like on defensive.
Oh yeah.
My ASFs were
I'm
so
afraid of that.
nice,
Here comes that.
and I could take babies out from under them, and they tolerated me. And I won't even do that to my mice or my rats. But
That's those East Coast ASFs, though.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They get all the good
tolerated
stuff.
me. I could pick one up. I could pick them up and hold them, and they wouldn't bite me.
I really appreciate you doing this show, Fitz, because I've been wanting to start breeding my own rats, because my lady kind of like, you're spending too much on rats, and I'm like, I need to get some.
You live in an apartment building, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, listen. You can breed rats in your home. Okay, it can be done. I use a charcoal filter. You do too. We just talked about just Jimmy uses one as well. That first of all is the first thing you want to do. They're not that expensive. If you've ever grown some weed, you might have some laying around in your shed. That's where I got mine. I've not been growing my own weed, but there's a lot of people that grow weed. You can get them on Facebook and stuff like that.
Virginia, they can now.
Yeah. So. You can find them on Facebook marketplace. But that will help you a lot. And then keeping up with the maintenance, keeping the maintenance scheduled. Exact on the exact time. I did mine twice a week for a long time, but I was messing around with different substrates.
Hemp bedding is the way to go.
Yeah, I ended up going back to the pine pellet on bottom with the pine bedding on top, and I'm not a fan of it. I'd like to go with the hemp, but I cannot find it around here for a reasonable price. I'm not going to spend $1 million.
You can't put them on Aspen?
You can put them on Aspen. Aspen's not the best for the rats, smell wise. Aspens are a great absorber. It does absorb well, but it's also a master mildewer. You know what I mean? It goes bad super quick. That said, I might be using some aspen here pretty soon for a few of my snakes. Got a local person that does it here in Wisconsin, actually. So I'm going to try some of that, and I'll let y'all know how that works out in the future. But,
are you going to do a mix with the aspen, maybe to?
Probably, but it's this will be for some. I have a few snakes that just love to burrow, and coconut ain't good, to burrow in, and these guys will enjoy it. They will. I'd like to get the hemp. We were talking about that earlier. I'd like to get that. Everybody says the same thing. It really helps with the smell. So if you can get the hemp and you're breeding smaller amounts, say you just have a stack of 4, 4 tubs, 4 cement tubs that you got from your Home Depot store, or whatever size, 24 inches or by 18 or 20 or whatever the heck it is.
I'm definitely thinking about it.
You don't have
it also depends on your load per tub.
I'm sorry?
It also depends on the load per tub. If you got a lot of rats in there in one tub, or you got to clean it more often. But if you just have a few in there, it will last a little bit longer.
Your grow out tubs are going to go quick. You're going to clean them quicker, the other ones.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I do, but they're going to go quicker. But again, you can do it at home. My wife's not a fan of it because just the smallest smell of that is enough to bother her. So if that's something that's going to be a problem, no matter what you do, you're going to have the slightest of smells. Just even if it's that bedding smell, that smell when you walk in, it smells like hamster, like rodent or whatever.
The more rats you get, the worse it smells.
And dust
Mice
too.
are worse. Mice are even worse, believe it or not.
I just
And
want to
dusty.
save
If
money.
you get a lot of rats, you get a lot of dust. You know, even with the filter, you're going to get dust.
You can save a lot of money. I don't know where you've been buying your rats. You've been probably buying your rats from like a local pet store or something, which is probably not cheap. I've never done that personally. No, that's a lie. There was a few times where I had to buy a few from. I was lucky that this pet store actually had some, but they don't have any rat suppliers anymore. But for the most part, I just buy in bulk from one of the rodent places, and I'm gonna have to go back to that probably. My wife says I can go ahead and hook a small amount of rats up at the house. She knows that it's 3 years she's come in and never once has she ever said, "Oh, that rat room," or nobody's ever. Matter of fact, everybody's ever come in here and didn't even know I bred rats.
Right.
No clue. Even if they'd gone back into the apartment room in the back, they didn't really even notice that there was rats in there, which is part of my deal. And I can say it now because I'm giving my 30-day notice on the 1st, so the mayor can kiss my ass as well as anybody else.
Are you leaving your shop?
Thousands of rats back there doing ratty stuff, right? And I've never been able to really share it on my YouTube or anything because, when I first got into this shop, they had a big town meeting about the reptile guys coming here, and places, guys got to understand, gals got to understand where I live. We were here for 4 days. My kids started school. We're at school for 1 day, and the very next day we went to a state park to look for a spot to have my son's birthday party. My son Nick. We come home from that, and he says, "What were you guys doing at Fox Park?" I'm like, "How do you even know about a Fox Park? We didn't even know about a Fox Park." Somehow I knew about Fox Park. And he knew that we were there. And I'm like, "How'd you know this?" He goes, "Amaya told me." I said, "What the hell's a Maya? Like, what the hell? What do you mean?" I thought it was like some app. We got an app on us or something? Some girl went to school with. He just knew who we are. We've been there for 4 days, didn't know anybody. But that's how it is around here. So I never talked about really my rats too much on any of my videos because I think that's one of the things that the people could have come down on me about or been worried. I'm in a building that was built in 1869. So it's an old building. If there's a million hiding places. Luckily for me, my whole area is all refurnished, redone. There's not a crack that anything can get out of this exact building. But rats. It'll save you a ton of money, man. But not time. Time will not be on your side. And even if you just have a small few mittens of rats, they're time. They're gonna take time. A lot of you.
Like, what's the ratio you think you should first start with? Like one male and like 2 or 3 females.
It depends on what kind of production you're looking for.
That's the first thing you want to find out. You want to find out how much you're going to need. What do you need to produce, and how many meals you need to produce. You don't want to overdo it. I overbred last year. I ended up throwing away like 200 rats, man. Something that you don't want to end up doing. It was bad. It was bad.
It just depends on what you need.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, you need a variation of different sizes as well for your rats. So you're going to be culling rats along. So you're going to need at least 2 grow out bins. One for your carpet python because you're going to need a little bit larger rat for them, and one that you can put smaller ones in for your Amazon tree boa, as well as maybe your corn snake that might eat a bigger meal. And
do you feed live or frozen?
Live.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing there because if you're breeding too many rats and you're feeding live,
do both.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it's a good way to have a goal to get them all in frozen thawed as well. Eventually, is safer for your animals by far.
That's how I control my population, is to gas them, because I would never be able to feed them live. They'd breed too quick.
Right. Yeah. Especially your carpet python. No. That's the one you need to get on frozen thaw, because you'll end up getting the males will start growing fast. Next thing you know, you'll have 20, 30 males that are large before you even know it if you don't catch them in time.
Yeah,
they grow fast.
They get big.
And then you're going to want to put them in a place, and then you're going to want a place to put them, and you're not going to be able to. And pretty soon, you're going to have issues. You don't want to. And here's the thing too: when you're doing it at a small thing of rats, a few bins of rats, you also have to figure out that if you're separating your males and females when you put them in the grow out bin, because it's not unusual to end up opening a bin and be like, holy crap, there's some babies in here. I've had that happen a few times, and I try to separate sometimes too.
No unauthorized breeding.
Yeah.
Solo has a question here about snakes having different behaviors. If they're in a bin where they can see what's around them, or in a non-visual bin. So if snakes have a different attitude?
Great question. And I can tell you from switching within the last year, actually a year ago, from see-through tubs to solid tubs, giant difference. And even a difference in the attitude of my animals. Some of my animals, like Lola, who's the sweetest thing ever, but she could be a finicky eater when she was in the clear tubs. Sweet as all get out, but not taking meal every single week. As soon as I put her in these solid tubs, now every time I open the door, she's thinking it's feeding time, which is not something that she used to do, but she does not miss a meal. And all of my snakes, again, when you're approaching your snakes, I have big hook here, but why use it when I got little hook here? Don't worry about, you can always rub your ball python if it's a little bit up there and you're a little bit worried about it. Give it a little bit of rub, let it know we're not feeding, and then you can reach right in there and handle your snake without too much of a problem. But I did notice a giant difference, and those are the differences that I noticed. They ate better, but they were definitely more food aggressive, or a cage enclosure aggressive, I would say. So even if I handle my snakes all the time too. So understand that even with these bins and opening up, they always think that I'm opening for feeding time, to where before some of them would go off of food. I think sometimes when I come in and I turn the lights on and that bright light in a dark room, start watching snakes, I'm in a hurry. I'm a human. I got appointments to do and things to do. So I want them to eat now. But I go in and do this routine where I turn the light on, I start moving past tubs, and I'm climbing up here and I'm doing all this movement. A lot of the snakes that haven't got the meals yet are all kind of a little bit stressed now. So I've noticed a giant difference, but I also miss a lot. I miss a ton. I know my females really well. My breeder females, I really know them well. I've called out, I think, all the ones that I've had and had clutches from before. I can always tell you, oh, she's going to lay on this day in 2 days, and they always do, because I know how they act. That's something that I miss because I don't see those movements. I don't see that 48 hours before they lay some eggs. I don't see them getting straight and showing me those signs unless I'm bothering them by opening that door. So there is a trade-off. I would love to hear if anybody else has anything, that they think.
I think it just depends on the species. I mean, retics, I want to be able to see what my retics are doing because they're already food aggressive anyway, so
yeah, I need
to know if I want to see if they're at the front of the enclosure, the front of even the bin on the smaller ones, because as soon as you open it, they're out. I mean, they're coming out a couple feet, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to be with them. But I mean, I got all clear, and mine seemed to eat just fine. But I mean, I have had in the past a couple that I had to put a hide in there for them to eat, though, and that might have been part of the problem,
Well, that's the thing, too. Like you were just saying, I don't like not seeing if my snake's on the cold side or the hot side without having to open up the tub. There's a trick. But that's a great
if you heard my story the other night, I was moving my racks around, and I must have grabbed where the probe was, and it come up about that high off my heat tape. And when it did that, I didn't realize it. And I went in the next day. I did it the night before. The next day, all three of my ball pythons were sitting at the front of their enclosure. And I was like, well, that's weird. Well, I want to start doing my heat temp checks. 130 degrees that heat tape was at.
Right, and you might have not checked that temperature because you would have not noticed it.
I would have never seen them.
An individual tub, it wouldn't have made no big deal. Open the next tub, no big deal. You wouldn't have registered that all of them are up in the front. But by seeing
it didn't set none of my alarms off because my ambient heat in my room and everything kept that thermostat at that temperature. It thought it because it sat above the heat tape.
Right.
But I guess I don't have done ball pythons because some ball pythons would have sat there and just burn up. You know what I mean? We've heard them stories, so I mean, I was very, very lucky. But I mean,
Usually
now I check that shit daily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Daily.
I probably should. Mondays when I come in is my maintenance day. I come in on Mondays. I have a door behind all the racks in my snake room. I don't know if any of y'all remember my snake room the way it was set up before, but there's actually a door behind all my racks, so I can go behind all my racks like I'm stocking a freaking shelf at the grocery store with drinks. So I can go behind all that, and I have to often, by the way, because whenever I let, sometimes Bitey will get out on his own. And,
night, Heather. Have a great night. Take care.
Night, Heather. Thank you for joining. And sometimes Big Girl, when I let her out to stretch her scales around, she'll get all in there and back behind crap, and that's it. So having that door back there is nice. So I go back there and I check all my probes and all that stuff. I probably should do it more often.
I usually do it once a week, but I do it more now that, it's just in my mind, I mean, it kind of, and with my alarms not going off on my, my herpostat because of my ambient heat and it not just being off the complete, I mean, it was above enough just to keep them in that right area where it wouldn't go off, I mean, so, scary deal, so.
Now, Chris, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sherry.
Has anyone here thought about point training their snakes?
I
think Chris, I don't think for ball pythons necessarily or any of my snakes I necessarily have to do that with. Even
my
retex
are,
which makes a big difference too. Oh, Derek ran away.
I think that's more important with the big snakes,
Yes,
retics and stuff. I do that with mine, but ball pythons I don't need to. But with the retics, yes, because they got 4 modes, and you might think they're awake and they're sleeping, and you gotta. And so once you wake them, they're going to go in food mode. You got to teach them what mode. Hey, we're just in here to mess with them.
Yeah.
So, I got to tell my boa to trust me.
Same thing.
General nice girl, sweetest thing. Kids hold her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when you open that enclosure, you gotta make peace first. You gotta know what's up. I guarantee you, there's nobody. Brian Barczyk won't be reaching in her enclosure, just to reach in there. I'm gonna give her some rubs, and she knows it right away. But you got to be careful with these big snakes.
Yeah, that one girl you have is pretty quick.
Yeah, well, that's as big as I'm going to have because I'm by myself majority of the time. You know what I mean? And,
that does make a
difference. I weigh 178 pounds or something like that.
Right.
And I'm quite sure that Chris is a little more than that. He's got some
snakes that will get pretty big and do pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not necessarily one of those ones to say you have to have 2 people there. I think if you know your snakes, the accidents that happen with large snakes and killing people, their trainers or their handlers and stuff, it doesn't really happen. You know what I'm saying? As much as people might think. So it's a very rare thing. So I'm not one of those people that are like, look, if you have a big snake, you have to have somebody else in the room. I think if you're an inexperienced person with a big snake, I think you're stupid. You know what I mean? you would definitely
she handles her anacondas all the time. I see her on videos, and she's by herself.
Yeah, but she actually Derek had her on the other night, and she said she's within yelling distance of somebody though that can. Which that's it's
really necessarily need to be honest with you too.
Or if if I need to if I had a neighbor I could say, hey dude, I might get my snake out.
Bottle, and my girl's nice. She's never bit me or anything. She struck at the glass a few times when I walked by, and she's like, I want to eat or whatever. But I always have a little bottle of rubbing alcohol, spray stuff. I use it it's actually a mixture of water, peroxide, and alcohol. And it's right there next to her thing all the time anyway. I use it to sanitize stuff and things in there. And it's
just not freaking out. It's just not freaking out when it happens if they do bite you and being calm and knowing.
Don't pull
where
this
that
way.
Snake, when that snake's on you, we're not to let it get on you. You know what I mean? They're gonna wrap around your foot.
Knowing your snakes makes a big difference.
That's where
what was that? Oh, mouthwash.
That leg right go.
I've seen people use mouthwash to get them off of them, and it seems to work rather well.
But fingers crossed. I haven't been a long time.
Well,
The mouthwash.
Garrett Hartle has he did it right on his he got bit by his retic and went right outside and it wrapped around him and it was lunch and he nibbled on the tail like a piece of corn on cob.
Yeah,
and it automatically led. I mean, he was showing people though that
you can
this
just
is
bend
what
it
you
down. You don't have to stick it in your mouth. You can just bend it
No,
up
but
too.
he was showing different ways that hey, if this happens to you, don't think you got to try to pry them off or not. There's ways they'll let go of you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. So.
All that belly kissing and stuff that I always joke about is a joke. People don't do that shit. Although the other day I seen a guy kissing a rattlesnake or something on a thumbnail, so I was like, all right, maybe somebody knows about that move. I want to take a quick time to thank everybody in the chat for joining. Again, just doing a little bit of an interview, and I usually don't keep an eye on the chat. I want to thank Sherry for coming in here and reading some of those comments. And Sherry, you're welcome to come in any one of my roundtables ever.
Hey, Lady Suda.
To help me read some of those comments, man, because I have a really hard time going back and forth. And plus, since I'm a bit of a dummy and I kind of stopped losing track of stuff, another reason why I don't smoke the wacky tobacco is because I'll forget myself halfway through as it is without any of that shit. So, and with
I only have to use that stuff when I'm in severe pain.
Whatever, you're always in pain. That's the thing.
That is true. I am.
I've never seen a freaking marijuana IV before. That fancy Canadian healthcare.
Have a tea.
That fancy Canadian healthcare gives you the THC drip.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to go on it, and my sleep doctor said, "Well, with the pain you're at,
looks like my ball
see if it
python
works."
shed. Can you see it?
Man, you got a nice snake here,
partially
Derek. And listen, if you don't, are you going to breed ball pythons?
Maybe in the future.
Maybe I should trade you a male and a female that are already ready to go for that snake that you keep whipping around the stream.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I like the snake.
Tell everybody what that snake is. He got to call a gopher snake or something. Tell everybody what that snake is.
This is a spot nose, yellow belly.
Spot belly.
Listen to what I'm saying. This is
yellow nose.
This is a spot nose, yellow belly, 100% het clown ball python. Gorgeous.
Tell me that isn't cool, dude. He got that for free from Miguel. He had Miguel on. Miguel's like, "You don't have a ball python?" He's like, "No." He goes, "Well, you do now, buddy." Sends him that off the ground.
That is great.
That is great.
I have to interview him.
Kurtwood, I love you, man. It's good to see you on here, dude. I know you've been working like crazy. People are asking about you, and I told people you were working because I checked in on you.
It's been crazy.
That's a link. I don't pay for my StreamYard. I will be here. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. So I don't know how many people I can actually have on here.
You can have up to 6.
Up to 6?
Up to 6 without the plus.
Paid
but with the plus, you could get 10.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm going to have 10 here pretty soon, but I can have 6 now. So that means and I think you can see me in. You guys don't want to see me in better pixels anyway, right? I think if you pay, you get a better.
Well, you only get a certain amount of hours when you don't pay as well. And I have to say,
the difference. You have to pay the $50 a month to get the 1080, and I don't really see the difference between that and the $25 a month.
There's not a big difference.
There isn't.
You pay $50?
It's like 40.
I was paying like 25.
No, I paid 25. Jose plays 50 because he wanted the 1080, but you can't tell the difference. That's the thing, I couldn't tell the difference whatsoever, so it never dawned on me that he'd be getting more. Yeah, they say if you do the $50 one, you can stream in 1080, but I don't.
It's okay if you're wearing gloves to hold a snake.
No, it don't matter.
Big giant welding gloves.
So
goddamn Freddy Krueger claw on one hand, his hands on the other. I ain't messing with no snakes. Carla, hello. Good to see you.
Hey, Carla.
Daniel Church. Hey.
Daniel's one of the subscribers who actually came in from the giveaway that I was doing and has stuck around. I like her, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a subscriber on my channel too.
He's a good dude. Good dude.
Yeah,
comments a lot and stuff. Appreciate it. Look at this. I want everybody to say hi to Kurtwood, man. He's been missing in action.
Hey,
What's up, everybody?
Now, do you know?
What happened to you, dude?
Kurtwood, do you know Jimmy from the Python Burrow?
Yes, I know Jimmy.
Okay. Okay, because if you don't, I'm gonna want you guys to meet.
You probably know him through Nikki.
Yeah, I know him
another
from.
one of those guys, family dude, regular, kind of good guy. These guys all always messing with him, calling him a sidekick and all this other stuff.
It's all right. Just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go.
No,
Late for supper?
Yeah, Kurt, sidekick. No, I'm kidding. No, it's good to see you though, but you've been pretty busy at work, huh?
Yeah, work, and then my daughter.
She graduated.
Did you get everything set up for her logo?
No, not yet. No, I haven't even touched anything with that right now.
Understood. So much to do.
Kurtwood, how's your eggs doing?
I actually lost one. It started molding.
And you didn't call me to say, hey, what do I do?
I actually did reach out, and a couple people were telling me like the gold bond, stuff like that. Fitz said, nope, that's not it. But I tried it. Supposed to lick it.
That's all on the tongue. I keep trying to tell you. That's how it is.
It's all in the tongue.
You gotta lick it right, man.
Makes
sense. Where we toss in and licking it. You gotta lick stuff. That always makes it better.
Yeah, I actually just got rid of it today because when I went in there, it just started molding more, and I'm like, I'm not gonna risk the rest of them.
I'm gonna tell you something, everybody. If you got moldy eggs, don't go throwing them out. I've seen. Listen, Trig. You guys know Trig Reptiles?
Yep.
This man hatches the ugliest eggs, and listen, I love the guy, and he's brilliant. But I've never seen a more disgusting egg in my life. I don't think the guy's ever hatched a clutch of eggs that look like eggs. And this thing, I'm not trying to be a shit either.
Nasty looking eggs, yeah, he's got some nasty looking eggs.
The worst.
Shriveled up and colored, and
she colors. I'm colorblind enough. What the hell is that? I can see that shit. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I'm colorblind too. What colors are you blind on?
I am a red green, mostly red green, but I have a little bit of a problem getting the blues and purples as well.
Yeah, mine's in the purples and browns. Sometimes I think it's brown is purple and.
It's weird to be a female and be colorblind too. So.
I know.
You have something else.
I got a question.
You got a tail.
What?
So how?
You have a tail, sir.
Fitz, I got a question.
It's a magical thing.
The more for my ball python, like how much is that worth? Is that a good snake?
That's a good snake.
That's a really good snake. I'm gonna guesstimate. Somebody's gonna go, "Don't bet you, Momo," but you could probably get 300, 350 out of that snake because of where it came from, what the genes are. It is 100% het, so you can probably get about 300, 350 for it.
That's a $350 snake.
It's possible. Let me look it up. I've seen them for 250, but again, it's Miguel snake. It's guaranteed. We can always check it out.
I'll give you 250 for you right now, Derek, if you want.
You can't have my snake, man. I just want to know.
Everybody's mad right now.
300.
Hey,
I'll give you 300. You give
flying it over to me.
Hey,
you're making $300 profit, dude.
Hey, I'll go get you a snake egg right now and drive it down to you.
Guys, listen, I told him that price so that when nobody gives it to him, I'd be like, dude, I was only kidding. It's only a $50 snake.
Yeah,
tell everybody you sold it for $250.
That snake ain't leaving my collection.
No, it's a good little snake, man. What's good about it is, see, he's saying 400 over there. Again, it was just a guesstimate on the deal, but those are two really good combos to have a het clown in. And,
I think it's on for 8,000 right now.
I'm sorry? Somebody was running a lot of
clowns. They're running 8,000, I believe.
For the visuals?
Yeah, just find those clown, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice.
For a visual
nice
clown, yeah.
He gave you a nice snake.
It's so pretty. It's in share right now. I can't wait till it's shed.
You can do a lot with them genes though that you got with that yellow bit, spot nose though. You can do a lot.
Definitely can.
Great combination for sure.
Is there some rattling going on somewhere?
I think water.
It's Derek running water.
That's you?
Yeah,
Derek's
I'm almost done doing work. I think before I go back to work.
What that?
What are you on lunch?
No, Jimmy.
I worked this morning. Now I'm working. I'm doing a night shift tonight, 10 to 6.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Todd
trying
has
to.
to say, "Hey, Al."
Saturday night.
Of
Hey,
course.
there's my girl Dot. What's up,
Always
girl?
have to.
Here,
How you doing?
you can talk to her for a second. Like,
Good. Hey, everybody, you gotta be quiet for a minute. I gotta talk to my girl.
Hey,
What's going on?
I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette.
Howard, shut up. What's happening, Dot?
not much.
How you doing? I'm always telling Sherry that how's my girlfriend doing? I call you my girlfriend. We've only had one conversation, but I like it weird. How about you?
Weird is perfectly fine. I have no problem with weird.
No, well, we're gonna have to talk. When everybody else leaves, you just stay on. You know, stay out of the room. My wife don't care. It's 24 years. She's happy that somebody likes me. Keeps me off of her back. Doing the favor. I'm joking. No, Jimmy, are you available on Saturday evenings? Not always, sometimes.
Yeah, usually just depends on what's going on or whatnot.
Well, I'd like to be able to, again, like I said before, call upon you to jump on for different topics. Again, you know, you're a person I've turned to for, and I'll say it again, morally on the lines of you've helped me out in a lot of things, just kind of morally talking with me about different things, you know, not cheesing me up or not, you know, kind of just soft talking about this or that, you know, actually being genuine about stuff. And I really respect that. And I definitely want you to have back on because we're going to have a lot of topics coming up.
Yeah, I know.
That are going to be controversial in a lot of different ways. And having some people on there coming from different angles would be nice. And again, everybody's already agreed that we can disagree, and that's okay. You know what I mean? There's no name calling when people disagree on something. We don't do that in this community. It's one of the first, and again, Jimmy, we've been around for a long time. This is one of the first communities I've been around that has been genuine. You know, we all don't do the same stuff. We're not all really into the same stuff, but we all understand that if we don't agree with somebody, it doesn't mean we have to make a video of shit talking them or treat people like crap or any of that stuff. But I would
We just terrorize each other to our face.
Yeah, because it's fun. That's fine. Well, Sherry, you're just mad because I'm trying to hit on your sister, but
You
I
can
can
hit
vouch
on
for
my
that. I'm a
sister.
sidekick.
every time I hit
You're
on you,
a
you're like, my husband. You're always talking about your husband every time I try to flirt with you. It's gross. Talking about your husband.
Well,
Trying to flirt
Dorothy's
with
not
you.
married, so you can hit on her
I'm
all
like,
you want.
hey, Sherry, what are you doing? She's like, not much. And I'm like, yeah, what are you wearing? She's like, I'm with my husband.
She's wearing that Iron Dog Reptile shirt that feels good.
He's a hell of a guy to let her hang out with this group of people, that's for sure.
Well,
I
I'll
love
ask
that
her if
picture
she
you got
wants
up there,
to.
Derek.
You
Are
see
you a
how-
Star Trek fan?
You see how? Oh yeah, I love Star Trek. But you see, I'm giving you double watch time for my phone and the TV.
I see that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
You're all going to see the new reptile room at the house. It's actually my old reptile room at the house, but I'm redoing it, of course, to fit for the deal. So my videos are going to be a little bit. Not sure how I'm going to do this because I can't get internet for shit at my house. But we were checking it yesterday. I think the upload speed was at 1.9, and it used to be 3.9. So uploading a 10-minute video could take anywhere from 10 hours to 24 hours. And that's with nobody else using internet at the house. So for a little bit, I'm going to have to probably go and upload for my son's house up here in town. And I'm probably also going to have to do some of my lives from there as well while I'm in transition. So hopefully I'll still make all my lives. So even if I have to go to McDonald's parking lot, I'll still make my lives. I usually don't miss too much of my lives. When I say I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here. By the way, I love Todd. He is a donor of the Pals with Scales. He's donated a $150 gift card, and I thank Todd and Tasha for that very much. I love you guys. That said, don't tell nobody you're doing lives no more. That's done. We don't believe you. You're all getting really mad that we're all showing up and you're not there. We like our TNT balls every now and then, and you're not coming through. So somebody needs to take over Thursday night, teach them a lesson. Anybody wants to do lives on Thursday night? That's a great night to do a live.
Okay, then I'll do the live.
I think you
Thursday.
should. And Sherry, I really and I meant what I said. If you will join any live I'm ever doing, every time you do, I'd be happy. You read some comments over there. I'll send you extra little goodies and stuff. Not pictures anymore. I won't do that anymore.
You got
No, you per bars.
Cross
country. those cross-country pitcher things, they didn't work out too well.
Mason wants to know how he can donate to the Pedals and Scales auction.
You can contact myself or even Iron Dog Reptiles Chris and let him know what you'd like to put in there, and he'll let me know. I'll put it together, a picture of it, or if I don't have a picture of it, I'll put it together in a video, let everybody know about it. And how it's just pretty much going to work as a raffle. I think what we're doing is everybody just going to put in a certain amount donated right to their PayPal. And again, I will make a whole video on this coming up here probably next week or the week after. I want to get it a little bit closer because I want to try and get as many donations in as we possibly can.
Kind of like DMJ does his,
amazing
I like how he does his, you know.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I want to do it. And I'm really hoping, Chris, that me and you can get together before this and talk, because I don't know exactly how all that works, but maybe if we get together, we can talk about it.
I can reach out to Chino because I got his number and stuff.
And what a great guy he is, too. I wish I had his number.
We can set up a little private deal, you know what I mean?
At first, I wasn't a big fan of him because he's a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker. I was born in the city myself. I just lost my accent. Right. I've been out there for 30-something years. But man, that guy, he does a lot of stuff that I kind of used to do with a lot of charity stuff, and he really goes after it, man. I can't respect the guy enough. Yeah, can't respect. Yeah, Pels and Scales, in case you don't know about them, everybody, Pels and Scales, an amazing couple, God-fearing, church-going people. They taken in foster children, which is something that's kind of close to my heart because I have 7 foster brothers and sisters, all ages of 9 to 16, and my parents are traveling in the United States with them as we speak. I don't know how they do it at their age, but they do. And all these kids come from really bad homes, and it's pretty amazing. So I have a lot of respect for those type of people, and these are those kind of people. They had some tragic loss with family members from fathers, and then they had a really bad fire in their garage where they kept all their animals, lost a lot of stuff. Luckily, they've been able to, over the last month or so, they've actually still finding snakes of theirs alive.
Like in the yard. It's crazy.
Listen, wow. There's something more powerful than just luck with that. Really. And I'm not a super spiritual person, but there's something more luck with that, to have one finding a pool and then another one coming out of the bushes the other day. And, you know, they lost a lot. And if we can help them out, even just a little bit, they're holding all their snakes are being held at a friend's house that's not a reptile person at all. They're not necessarily in racks because, again, the racks burnt up. I mean, firemen were running in there. They're not venomous. Okay. They're running there and they're grabbing snakes out, afraid of snakes and everything else. Amazing. Hats off to those firemen. But they could use a little bit of help. They didn't ask for this either. I want everybody to know clearly. I said, hey, this is happening. Chris told me about it. I didn't even know this was. I was like, what's going on? Sent me a link. I was like, well, we got to do something. And I said, hey, listen, we're going to do something for y'all, whether you like it or not. So participate will make it easier. And instead of weird when some weirdo shows up your door trying to give you stuff, and they say okay. And so even if we're just bringing a few smiles, we got a lot of really cool stuff already. Now, again, I'll talk about that. There's a video already out about stuff that we have going on. The last video I put out has all the stuff.
I'll be back in a moment.
So you can reach out to any one of us, Mason, if you have something you want to donate, whatever it might be. Is super grateful and thankful. And there's nothing too small. And if you don't want to donate to get into the raffle, which again, I kind of drifted off there, we're going to kind of like do it what DMJ did. And that was everybody pays a price to their PayPal. And I do want everybody to do that as not as friends and family. Okay. I don't want nobody's PayPal having any issues.
Right.
So even if it costs you an extra $1 or them an extra $1, whatever, however it ends up, that's okay. But if they could put a little rack together, something like that, to secure those snakes in this friend's home until they can get their stuff back together, until insurance companies can decide if they're going to help them or not. And again, if you don't know how insurance companies work with this kind of stuff, if your dwelling is not necessarily attached to your house, then that is a separate entity and not necessarily covered the same. So they're not necessarily looking, they don't need $1 million from us. We're just trying to do something nice for them, having a hard time. And when I'm having a hard time, it's nice to have a hand up. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing, and only because of this community. I'm just talking about it. You know what I mean? Somebody says something about these things, and you all jump up, and people have. So I'm just very lucky to be part of this community, and I'm not joking about that. I'm very lucky, and that's what I was telling you, Jimmy. There's a good community right here. It's different. It's different than the ones we've been parts of. You know what I mean? Where people are cool one day and then some jealousy set in or some craziness sets in. And next thing you know, they're making videos about the other person. And I'm just like,
I'm about to make a video right now about Kurtwood.
Make it nice, because I love that guy.
You doing what?
I said, I'm about to make a video right now about Kurtwood.
Crazy guy who takes a little shuttle bus, and runs down half the people at the O'Hare Airport because he's going nuts at his job.
Oh,
That'd be a
man.
great video.
Hey,
We
I
already
love
know
y'all,
what
but I
kind.
gotta
We already
get-
know what he. We already know what
I
kind of
gotta-
people he lets on his live stream, so it don't matter,
Really.
Big old penis.
Okay.
All right.
Derek.
I love all y'all, but I gotta head to work. Hey, thanks for letting me
All
hop
right,
on,
man.
Fitz.
All right.
Derek, man, I appreciate
Derek.
you, dude. Thank you so much.
We'll catch you later, bro. Yeah, man. I tell you, last 2 days back to back. Yep. Last night and today, I've had 2 drivers take out bumpers. One guy was just going, wasn't paying attention. He was watching the cars that are in the
I'm
lot.
gonna take catalytic converters because those things go for a nice penny.
Yeah, right? I mean, I'm like, how?
They go
I
for a
mean,
better
like,
penny.
I just don't understand them sometimes. And then the one guy today, he cut it too soon, so
Celtic.
the rear of the bumper just snatched it and hit
What's
a
that
little
have to do
pole.
with rats or snakes, Kurtwood?
Yeah, I know.
Leave your work at work, man.
Well,
This
they
guy
were
works
dirty.
hard, though. I hate
They were
that.
dirty rats. They're dirty rats for doing that.
I hate that airport
That's
almost
okay.
as much as I can't stand your city. The best part
Yeah.
about Chicago is Tinley.
Yeah, I mean,
When you getting out of Chicago, man? We got airports up here.
one of
They're
these
frozen
days,
with their airports.
Yeah, I know, right? You can skate right in.
Come
Yeah. No, one of these days, man.
Hey, Nikki.
I always said when
Hey,
the kids hit 18, I was gone, but
Dude,
I bet.
everybody's looking for houses.
Girl. Come on.
I can't believe how cheap houses are up here. This is the cheapest place I've ever lived, man. I can't believe how cheap it. And jobs too. If you can work at a factory and stuff, or you can do your own thing. But God, I'm looking at a house that I could never afford, and I'm looking for it, showing it to me. I'm like, we can't afford that. She's like, it's $15,000 less than we were even thinking about. I'm like, let's look at it. It's ridiculous.
Good girl.
It's ridiculous. It's and it's selling like crazy too. Everything's selling. We've had like 4 houses we went to go look at, and they're like, oh, they just took an offer on it today. So we stopped looking. We're not going to look for another 6 months. It's too stressful for me. No, I started yelling at the realtor. Like, I told you at the last 3 houses that I'm not cool with a big giant hole in the side of the wall, and you bring me to 4 more holes in the wall. What's the deal here? Gloria's like, all right, you're starting to be a dick. You gotta stop.
Yeah. Monroe loves little spring toys, and I throw them for her. She goes and gets them, plays with them for a bit, and brings it back for me to throw it again. Solo was just asking me if I was playing with my cat.
Okay, I was like, where did that come from? I was like, wait a minute, we were talking
Sorry,
about a hole in
Cover,
the wall
but
and
I'm
throwing
sorry
balls.
for messing you up.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Speaking of balls, my normal, she just shut out the other night, so she should
Yeah,
be
we're-
her prelay.
What are you talking about? I missed part of that. You're chafing somewhere? What are you talking about? You are working hard. Sorry, I had to message my son because he was supposed to bring his mom up to work and come by here with the truck, but I took the motorcycle up here.
Thanks, Suda.
It's too terribly cold, so I don't need him to do that.
Jimmy, how many colonies of rats are you breeding?
I just have 6 colonies, 1.5
That's what I have.
colony, and they produce a lot.
They
I hear
do.
them breed too, so I think that I produce a lot more doing that by taking the females out and letting them just take care of their babies, because if not, I always lose a ton of babies.
Really?
hmm
I guess I'm lucky in that aspect. I don't lose none at all, hardly. You know.
Man, they're like super moms dragging different babies, and when they have litters at 2 different times.
Yeah, I'll see that sometimes.
Yeah, that happens all the time for me, and like half the babies end up dying, and
Really?
Oh,
so
change them
guess
over.
I feed so many
change him
pinkies
over
off, I don't
to
really
some-
notice it, you know. So
yeah. But harem
Need
breeding
some
is really working
frog
out.
nuggets.
Patty's on a roll.
Patty.
I'm glad Patty's on the roll. I'm usually messing with Patty and joking around with stuff, and goofing off, so it's nice somebody else is in there doing it.
Oh,
Well, whenever I show up, Patty's got something to say. Like, speaking of balls, she got a kick out of that one. Speaking of balls.
Hey, speaking of you and attention, what happened to your girl, man? I haven't seen her jumping in any lives lately. She living at your house now, Kurt?
Oh,
Rachel?
your daughter?
oh.
I haven't seen her now. So she
She was in the live stream the other night.
She went to Bike Week. That's why she's been missing.
Yeah. Last time I seen anything, she was at Bike Week. Yeah, she hasn't really been on Instagram that much either, I don't think. I don't know. I haven't really been paying much attention. I've just been doing everything else, you know?
Yeah, you've been missing. You've been missing yourself. That's why I thought maybe y'all were together or something. Like, damn, man, Kurt was like all jonesing for some YouTube stuff, and then all of a sudden you don't see him. It could only be a woman. It can't be your job. Who would want to go do that?
It was.
Lady Suda says she just put Pris back in her enclosure. She blew her a kiss as she had been holding her, and Pris put her face up to Lady Suda's for her to give her a kiss.
She's
So-
literally the cutest.
Nice.
What is she? I don't know what she is.
Huh?
What is she?
I believe ball.
Okay, nice. I just
It's
didn't know what
like
we were
4.5
talking
foot long.
And Esther says that she, that was for Iron Dog. Did you catch what Esther said there?
about. Killer clown mark. Oh, good.
So,
Congrats.
ooh, nice.
Celtic. Got to boost Celtic back up. From I think I got everybody blue now. That should be blue. So, yeah, man.
Solo
Jimmy,
asks
okay.
if it is safe to put Epsom
Nope,
salt
no-
on an
No
open
problem,
wound.
Esther. No problem.
Sorry about that. Junior's
For you-
packing
you
packing
too,
his bag to go
you-
to Texas.
She said her bank card was used online by someone else, so her account's
Mm.
frozen, and she'll rejoin the membership as soon as
As soon as she can
everything's
get
taken care
that.
of. No worries whenever you get it. So.
Yeah, I've been having the worst luck with my bank. I think I've shut it off you guys like 2 or 3 times now, and I've had to go put it back on. I notice I go to comment and it's not on there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's my bank too. It's just a horrible credit union. They keep
Solo
doing
wants to
fraudulent
know
crap.
about Epsom salts. Did someone answer me when I said it, or is my mind gone again?
No, for a reptile.
No.
No, I think for her
Except
leg
the open.
because she had gotten bit by one of the
Spider.
spiders, I believe.
Yeah, you can
Brown
Epsom
recluse.
salt it. Epsom salt's not. It won't
Follow
do
me?
that. Oh, the Cruz?
Yeah, it's Junior.
Did she say brown recluse better?
Yeah.
Is that what you just
Brown recluse, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
then don't go doing that because you don't. That's bad medical advice. I'm not a doctor in any sort of way, but you might not want to do that because the Epsom salt might dry it up, and it might be something that you don't want to dry up. It depends on how bad it is. So you're asking the wrong people, to be totally honest with you, on that end. When I had, what did I do with the barnacles? Because it would be treated the same way. I had to soak in the peroxide and Benadine. So, and barnacles are really close in that same type of
Yeah,
bacterial
something like that.
infection.
They told me it was my brown recluse, and then they gave me Benadryl. Told me to take Benadryl too.
I got bit in the cheek by what they assumed to be a brown recluse. 2 weeks before I got bit, the guy in the rock quarry just a quarter mile down the road from my house got bit in the leg, and he was on the news, a big black hole in his leg. And I'm like, that's gonna happen to my freaking face. I was like, and it ended up not being that bad. It ended up being like a big type pimple type deal. Ended up looking like. And he's like, yeah, you got really lucky in the cheek there. There is a lot of blood vessels, but they're not really big blood vessels, and they don't necessarily go right here, right there. So you probably just lucked out. But I was like, that's gonna happen to my face. Man,
That would scare me too.
time to shoot
Mason
myself in the head. I'm not living with that. But it
Mason
didn't
Morphs
happen.
asks for Python Burrow if what day do you cut on? Or do you cut eggs, and then what day do you do it?
I usually wait till about 1 to half the clutch is tipped. So really, there's not a day. I used to cut around day 55, 58, but anymore I just wait until they start pipping.
Okay.
You still
think-
using Repta Prime this year?
I wait until 2 of them pip, but if I'm being honest, as soon as I see one good pip, I'm ready to cut.
Now,
But
here's
I-
a question someone is probably going to ask is, do you tape that and show it?
Do I
On
tape
your
it? Yeah, it's on my
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. For anyone who
Are you-
wanted to know, there you go.
Well,
Jimmy,
worst
you
case
still using
scenario, I thought I might
Rep the
have been
Prime
cutting
for
it
your
tonight, but it
medium?
didn't fit.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit different this year. I'm gonna do a layer across the bottom that's moistened, and then I'm gonna do a thick layer across the top that's dry. I'm trying that this year. Just a little bit different, but pretty much the same, just to keep the humidity in.
Cool.
Okay. Lady Suda asks, what do you guys think of Green Mambas? Is that a new song?
I love
No,
them
that's
on
a snake.
TV.
The venomous snake.
They're awesome on TV. And on the other side of glass, and they're really fast. They're one of the only snakes that will chase you down. Yeah, they're awesome.
They can
Um,
Yeah, they're awesome.
I
They're
know.
like black bears then.
I know
They're
Dingo
like
sent
at 12.
Chandler and Tyler Nolan some, and they were just as calm as can be, dude. They were,
Yeah,
but they were
they would.
captive bred. They were captive bred, you know, and hats too. So I mean,
Well, I'm answering as a person that don't mess with them.
I don't either. Don't get me
And that's
wrong. I'm
probably
not
you
going
who's
to.
asking the question.
The green ones are
Do like I do.
more aggressive than the black.
Yeah. I mean, I think they say they're a little bit. The black ones are even worse. So I mean, either one I'm not messing with. To be honest with you. I mean, but the green ones are beautiful. You know.
Yeah, cool.
It's pretty,
That's why-
so
that's
run
why I
away.
like the Cribos. I'm really into the Cribos. I really want some Cribos because they really do act like these. You know,
Oh,
those
yeah, I forgot to tell you, I got a deposit with Black Pearl, and I'm getting Eastern Indigo soon.
I decided that that's where I'm going to end up getting on the list and going that way because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to do it with genetics that ain't going to be bad because there's not a lot out there.
I'm getting a male. So
That's awesome. They're not cheap, man. They're not cheap.
Well,
But worth it.
apparently, Lady Suda says that Dingo Dinkelman just gave Chandler from Chandler's Wildlife Channel some baby
Yep.
green mambas.
Nice.
Sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
him and Tyler Nolan both got them. So.
Soak in Epsom salt and can barely handle it. So, yeah, that sounds like it'd be painful. If there's already you should do it, then I guess that's the way you got to go. Wooden sticks, Patty. Wooden sticks. Arr! That's all I can tell you. That's horrible.
Trey
Man.
ought to be having his clutch of eggs here anytime.
Who's that?
Trey Beck.
Oh, yeah. I love that guy. He's another nice guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a cool guy.
Who's clicking?
I don't know.
I just set my phone on the table.
Nuts.
Sounds like water dripping, don't it?
Stop the clicking!
It's almost like water torture. Believe me or no.
Got mail.
Epsom salts.
Hey, Patty, feel free to do all your work and stuff during the live. I mean, you know. Answer your mail or whatever you like to do. You know, like it.
Beep Hills live.
You do whatever you want. You're in charge.
Well, that's every night. So.
Yeah, Tyler got bit quite a long time ago. He actually bit, and he finally put that video up. But man, that's a scary cobra to get bit by. I watched that video. Because Crutchfield was in that video, right?
What's
He was
that?
there.
Marshfield?
Wasn't Crutchfield there when Tyler got bit?
That was Tom's King Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out there. Yeah.
He said, well, that's your ass, man. So,
Well, you know.
I'd
Well,
get
I'm
bit.
thinking-
I know that.
Well, and he was in full blue too. You know, I mean,
You don't play with that crud.
You know, I was really
You
hoping to see Moto Danger Zone and Desert Wolf jump in tonight. I'm glad they didn't because we didn't actually go on topic that I thought we were going to go on. And a lot of that, like I said, a lot of that has to do is it was shut down, and I didn't want to bring this petition to y'all without anything to show you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
know
think the
Andrew saved a lot
biggest
of
problem
that.
I have with it is they'll if they did say they did ban all that, they're still going to let people like Nat Geo and the Discovery Channel show
Yeah,
the
they're gonna
animals
wanna
out in the
make
wild.
money.
You know,
YouTube
they're going to
wants
let
make
them do
money,
what
too.
they do anyway. A tiger can take down an antelope or whatever. You know, that's fine. But You know,
And that's what I'm saying. If you can show that, again, I don't want to see a basket of kittens put in with any snakes.
and I think that's what needs, because most
But
of
a
the bad ones are the ones
feeding,
across seas. You know,
I don't have a problem with a natural feeding of something. I mean, if
No.
you're putting something in that this thing can eat, then I'm fine with it. And maybe that's wrong too. Maybe people are like, dude, cats ain't shit, and where I live, you can just throw a
but I
cat
mean,
in a bucket, no big deal, But
there's that one channel, and they use a retic every time, and they stage it. It's across seas somewhere, and it's either puppies or geese or some goddamn animal.
Oh, the ones that set them up.
It's reptile channel is what it's called. But yeah. And that's the thing. So, and that's what I'm saying. When we discuss these things, I always think it's best if we police ourselves. That way, if we put lines down in the sand, these people look at that and say, well, they don't like this either, or they are at least respecting the fact of this as well. So, there's not as much need to get involved. And I'm not saying that I have any say in this. I don't do the live feeding system. And I don't know who does. But I think the people that base and want to make money on YouTube off of their feeding videos, I think y'all should really get together and figure out some lines that you guys think are reasonable. I think that's in your best. I don't know for you, but I think that's in your best interest.
I think with live feeding, I do live feeding videos, and I think if you start glorifying it, I think that's you shouldn't glorify it, because then that kind of triggers, if you just show them eating it, it's one thing, and killing it, but when you start going up, just talking the whole time, like, the whole day, glorifying, oh, look at that,
boxing match, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because some people get way out of hand when they do that. Or, once, I feed my frogs live too. And so I see a lot of frog videos now. And there's people that'll throw a frog in with 6 centipedes, a rat, and a scorpion all at the same time.
That's cockfighting.
And it's like, and then they'll throw a tokay gecko in with a frog, and it's crazy. It's like, really, dude? Or why are you feeding a tokay gecko? When you can just feed a pinky or something.
That's sensationalism. That's all.
That's the stuff that's going to hurt you overall. But like I said, I'm not a feeding channel, so they might cancel my channel just because it's relative, But keep in mind, I'm not making my money because of YouTube. I'm making my money because I'm breeding snakes and selling them. So if you're one of those people that are making money because you're doing these feeding videos, I really want you to protect yourself. You all really should get together and say, hey, listen, for us, we're going to set a standard here. And hopefully that standard trickles out. It has many times before. So I really would like to see that, because I don't want to see my friends' livelihoods go.
I think they'll police some channels. I think they'll take some down that they think is crazy. But you got to look at it this way. It's within YouTube's policy, so you're not breaking no guidelines. And if you're getting 1 million or 2 million views on a feeding video, YouTube's making money, so they're not going to want to take that down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not in a big hurry to shut you down, because they are making a buck as well.
But I got so many hate messages right now on one of my videos that has hit 91K.
You got a video of 91K? That's better than one of my videos, dude.
Yeah, it's one of the short feedings, but I would just be really impressed if these fucking people knew how to tell the difference. Excuse my language, but the difference between a mouse and a rat.
Yeah, because I went to that video, Kurt, and there's a guy said, "Why don't you feed your dang snake a banana? And if he doesn't eat, then he just starves and he dies."
Right?
Because he doesn't eat bananas, dude. They eat rats. Why would you feed him a banana? You know what I mean?
Well, I had a guy earlier today told me that I was going to get in a very bad car accident and everybody was just going to stand and watch. That's why I'm glad I'm glad you're telling me my future. Thanks for watching.
Well, the thing is,
Kurt, they're going to pull out their cell phones and video it too.
It's going viral. It's going viral.
Yeah.
But
the thing
I
is,
think
you did it, man. You went viral, my friend. You finally did it.
you have to watch, but I also stand and watch. I watch every one of my snakes eat. When they strike it, make sure they're not getting bit. I would never put nothing like that on video if something went bad anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I sit there and watch my snake strike that rat. Make sure it's not going to get bit. It's not no harm, and then once I know it's okay, then I move on to the next, when I feed, because I see people just toss live rodents in there, dude.
And just let
never
them go.
look back.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I got to visually watch my snake hit it and make sure it's not getting bit. You know, I mean, I know in the wild, whatever, but for me, I got money invested in that. I don't want it to get hurt. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
I've had him hit the tail. You know, just being goofy, hit the tail. Like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you hitting the tail for? You know,
Chris,
Kundalini.
if you go back on that video and you see one of the
Hi, Kundalini.
there was one of the comments.
stream.
The guy was telling me, he's like, I bet. Let me guess. You paid $800 for the snake. It cost you $5 a week to feed it. That's $40 a month. And he started doing all the math, and I was like, well, damn. Thanks for. I was like, well, no, actually, I paid $300 for the snake. It's $1.50 for the rat. And thanks for watching the video and my pocket. You know, I mean, that's where I was today. Like, this guy says, what does this guy say? That was cruel. The rat suffered too long. You don't have to feed them alive animals. You can feed. You can buy frozen rats. So I replied back, frozen's too cold.
now, I mean, once I switch my retics over off of rats, you know, they'll never eat live after that. You know, and I do feed them live or frozen thawed too. So you just don't see that behind the thing because I'm not going to have an 18-foot snake that, you know, I'm just not going to throw a live pig or a live rabbit in. I'm not going to do that. You know, you know, they're going to get frozen thawed. You know, and that'll be that. So.
But the thing
my
is,
frog videos do better than my snake videos anyway. So my frog,
they do.
So that's it. Don't matter. They do.
One will probably do much better once he eats.
You definitely don't want to leave a rat in with one of your snakes.
But most of the people we know, at least, if they're doing a live video, they put on a disclaimer right at the start.
Well, maybe that's all it's needed. Maybe before each live feeding, you guys come up with a decent, you know, little deal that you put up there that this is what you are going to get if you watch this video. You know, and
well, it's in the title. I mean,
it might suck, but it might save you from, you know, being one of those channels that get cut if that ever happened.
The more you put on the shampoo bottle to make sure people don't eat it is helpful.
Yeah, but it's even more than that. It's almost where you have to say, I don't care how many disclaimers you put up there, because a person will watch your whole video and be, why are you put? But I'm like,
that is true.
Why are you watching it? So you almost got to not only put a disclaimer in your title, you've also got to say, and voicely say, this is a live feeding. If you don't like this, then you need to not watch the rest of this video because
or put a little snippet at the start. But
see, the people that comment on my videos, they're the ones that watch it all the time.
Yep.
So deep down inside, you like to watch it. You just want to be in the comments acting like you don't like it.
Now, do you guys get a lot of? I mean, on every feeding video, do you get some comments of crap?
No, actually, probably out of the last 10 videos, I've probably only got a couple thumbs down. Actually, I had one that never even got a thumbs down, and that was the one I really thought was going to get like half and half. You know what I mean? Because I was petting the rat, you know, and I played some bad music. Sorry, you know, like it was my best friend, and then they kind of played it up for YouTube, and then they didn't get no bad views on it, but I mean.
Yeah,
I had one guy said, "Well, dude, I just lost my pet rat, and then I come to watch your video, and it made me more sad." So, but I mean,
sorry you lost your rat, but don't come into a live
glorify it. I don't sit there and talk bad, you know. I don't, you know.
You don't stand there and chuckle and
mine's just silent video. You might every once in a while throw music in them. I don't talk through it or nothing, you know. I don't say nothing, you know.
I watch.
Welcome, Elite. Yeah. Congratulations on your clutch. I seen you posting some pictures on
Welcome, Elite. I don't think you need to, you know.
Yeah, I was watching a few of talking about rat traps and stuff videos. I was just seeing one today. Like, there's one time. Where is this Chinese guy getting all these freaking rats from? He sets up these different electric traps and water traps and traps and all this shit. I swear to God, he's got like 50 rats that come out of this perfectly cut hole in the wall. I'm like, is he just buying rats and like shoving them through this little hole to make it like a video? Like, where's he getting
that?
That is
rats? Possible.
Like, he's in there cooking stuff in a restaurant the whole time on the other side of the thing. So I'm going, where are you working at? I don't want to eat there for one. And for two, like,
So wonder how that would affect a channel like the Mink Man, say, where
with
he
the
uses
dog.
Oh, the Mink Man's great.
he uses the minks and he uses
And the dogs.
now monitors
Yeah.
to go hunt and kill rats. You know, wild
Right.
rats. You
The
know,
mink, the dogs, and the monitor.
I mean,
Yeah,
he goes to a
He's
farm and
great.
takes out 100 rats for a farmer because they're so bad. Now
well, like I
that
said, a lot
you
of
know-
the positions that are put out on those types of things and not necessarily focusing on
What's up,
reptiles.
Billy?
This last petition
Right.
had a big deal about kind of updated stuff with reptile feedings. You know what I mean? And again, we've had this many times before, and I don't see anything happening right away. But the possibility is definitely there. The pressure nowadays, with everything being so PC and hurting nobody's feelings, is greater than I've ever thought it would ever get. I mean, ever. I mean, what happened to sticks and stones? You know what I mean? Like, people forgot about that. Names don't hurt
Yeah,
me. That
they
whole
forget
thing.
that.
Rubber
As soon
your
as they see
glue,
something that
that
pees them
whole,
off.
you know, deal, like, that's all bullshit now. Now you just gotta know somehow somebody's.
But
feelings
YouTube
on
did
something.
just put out that they're getting more lenient on their rules with stuff. So to me, I don't think they're going to ban stuff. I think they're allowing more stuff. You know, like everybody used to say, you can't cuss in your video. Well, you know, we do that anyway. In the live stream. I've never been demonetized or nothing
I've never
like
got a
that.
strike or nothing. I've said some bad words and stuff.
I mean,
you know,
I don't know if
never
it's because
got a strike.
I don't have 100,000 followers or whatever, you know. But I mean, maybe it's more for the big channels. I don't know, you know.
But also the thing is too is that you have your channel set up that it's not made for children. Not
It don't
made for
matter.
youth.
It don't matter. When I upload a video, Cherry, it asks me questions. Do you have this? Are you cussing in your video? Are you doing this in your video? Are what words?
Oh, is that what it says? I just scroll down and hit the...
I hit none of the above. I hit none of the above, you know, because I mean, my live streaming don't do it on my live stream because live streams
You
they
don't
don't
know
ask you
what's
that
gonna
questions. But on my videos, I put none because
Yeah.
they want to police you, and if everything passes, then they don't worry about, you know.
Exactly.
But
Doug.
I do have videos that when I upload, that'll say checking, and they'll find an issue. And so what I do is I take the title out and I'll just put like frog, and I'll leave it like that, and then it'll check again, and it'll say all checks good. Then I'll put like Pac-Man frog versus rat, you know, or whatever, morning live feeding. But if
No,
I
you
put
can
that
change
up
it
while they're
afterwards.
checking, they'll check, you know. So
Yep.
it's
Thank you, Daniel.
keywords,
I appreciate that.
keywords, you know, in there. So.
Yeah,
Ladies,
everybody's triggered these days. I think it's like
Oh yeah.
that's the worst disease that's ever happened to us as,
Oh, yeah.
as Americans.
It's
Matter of
gotten
The
fact,
world is triggered.
It's gotten to the point where you got to carry around a freaking box of Kleenex with you just in case somebody's got an issue. You give them a tissue, you know.
Yeah, I used to always get triggered by people from West Virginia a lot. So
Well, Lady Suda here.
Only days it ended Y, you know.
yeah, only this is why.
yeah.
Lady Suda says, "What do you think of how Hollywood portrays snakes and tarantulas and similar animals?"
The same as they portrayed.
Thank you, Daniel.
I don't like it. I think that, but listen, that's Hollywood. I mean, where's our African American people in here right now? They've been placed in films for many years in crappy lights, you know, and crappy positions. I feel it's the same way. I really do. I don't think it's cool.
They don't. No, they don't treat them
I
right.
mean, if it's a movie, a sci-fi movie, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? But if it's a movie where they're just unrealistically giving you some bad information.
Yeah. Hey Jimmy, I don't stand with that whole West Virginia comment because we already had that discussion. That's where my family's from. So
Okay.
Oh, now that explains a lot about you, Kurt.
yes,
I come from just across from Michigan, so
You ain't related to the wonderful whites of West Virginia, are you, Kurt?
Oh, God. You want to talk
No,
about
you know
that?
what? I still haven't even checked it
Yeah,
out.
we
I still haven't
from,
checked it out.
The wild and wonderful whites in West Virginia. You remember Dirty takes the pills. He says that's the Boone
Yep.
County name call. He has his own YouTube channel. All right. Now I've been following this kid on his YouTube channel for years. If you want to watch a train wreck, if that's what you're really into, go catch any one of these. Durkee Castle, white, old dirty white boy. Just Durkee white in your search and it will pop up. If you want to see the most insane loser train wreck. I mean, this guy, he's a better guitarist than Eric Clapton. And you will see he is not. He's doing his own documentary about the Wild and Wonderful Whites because Johnny Knoxville and them never paid them anything. He is still living in the same. Oh, he just recently got kicked out of that same trailer that he was living in the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia because the owner is out of prison now and didn't know anybody was living in the house for the last 8 years, and it was on a big documentary film. And this guy goes live. He's got GoFundMe's where he's getting money for people to do these documentaries and all this recording equipment and all this stuff. And he's just taking everybody's money and it's bad. This is the worst train wreck on YouTube. I can't stop watching it.
Solo says you guys need to be spanked.
And I hate that shit, but I can't stop watching it. It's the worst.
I need to be able to do the scroll thing here. Solo Butterfly says you guys need to be spanked.
I think the way my wife just pulled up here a few minutes ago and pulled out of here, I think I might be
Hey, maybe
one.
you'll get spanked.
I might be getting one.
I don't have no idea why either. I'm a saint.
If it hurts your feelings,
didn't
then
you have
everybody
me?
has to conform to you. Is what Celtic Ball says.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Doug says Wee Man died last year, didn't he?
No, Wee Man's alive. He was just in that other Steve-O weirdo, and I don't watch the Jackass stuff. I really don't. I'm not into that kicking each other in the ball.
Jackass?
But I just seen him on a thing. I did Jackass.
Snakes on a plane.
Yep.
Never
No,
seen
but it sounds funny.
I've never even seen that movie.
Never seen it.
Me either, but it sounds funny just for people freaking out and running around. Ah, plastic snake.
No, I don't think reptile. I don't think any animal gets a great deal in most movies unless you're like Lassie or
Right.
something. Tim.
Well,
Old
you
Yeller
gotta- you
didn't
gotta-
get a good rap.
I mean,
Well,
it's got to be good. You got Samuel L. Jackson and a bunch of snakes on a plane. You know it's going to get good, you know.
There's motherfucking snakes on this goddamn plane.
Sounds
Well,
like you have to.
Savannah from Gatorland, she has a TED Talks, and it was just amazing watching it because she did extremely well. And I give her kudos for being able to still have any type of excitement, telling people about reptiles, and they're all sitting there just.
Hey, I got to ask you all a question. Have you all seen Brian Barczyk's blog? Not his regular channel, but his
you mean
blog,
his
his lives and his little deals that he does?
yeah, checking in with the bar checks or something like that. It's called.
Way
I think.
better
Oh,
than his
the
channel.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah, I
Way
told
better
you.
than his channel. I never really cared for his channel too much. You know, the thing about Brian Barczyk, and I'm not afraid to say this. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's really pushing this whole, like recently he said how, and I don't know why I'm even bringing this up, but recently it kind of bothered me actually. That's why. He recently said that he's not even sure if he wants to continue to breed because he would like to keep all of his animals in naturalistic enclosures. And I can't stand it when this always happens. When you get to the top and you've got it, you've made all your life was made off of what you are going to possibly be against in the future. Drives me up a wall. It drives me up a wall. When it comes to ball pythons, at least, they prefer to be in the type of enclosures that we keep them in. They truly do. I mean, it's a little bit of research, and you will find out that in the wild, this is how they live. They will just kind of go to a burrow and sit there and wait for food to come along.
I like that one right there.
Yeah. That's why
I like that one in the python
of not eating food and being able to go so long without food.
Patty said Derek's interviewing Lori next week. She thinks.
Yes, she is.
Yep.
I like Lori.
Yeah,
Lori's awesome.
you know, that's the thing with, like you said, with his podcast, because a lot of people don't realize they look at Brian. You know, most people look at Brian in a certain way on his videos, but he's just like us on his podcast. I mean, they don't hold back. They're cussing. They're dropping F-bombs. They're doing this. You know, it's who he really is. You know, he puts on a face for his videos. And
I told Derek to make sure he gets in touch with Lori. I'm glad he did. I didn't know he did. I told him to get in touch with him. I hope he used my name.
Yeah.
You know,
He also had
of me, I should say.
their son Noah on one of his
Yeah,
chat.
I'm still not a fan of Noah, but I think it's just out of my own ignorance, to be honest with you these days. I wasn't a big fan of him before because he was just this young, annoying kid, and I just don't really like teenagers.
I
Like
don't know
watching
if I don't know if Noah remembered him even being on that live stream. Noah probably was so high he probably didn't even he
Yeah,
forgot he was on
he-
that live stream.
He was toast.
He was baked.
But
So-
I don't mind him now that I know where he's actually kind of coming from. He was always coming from that place, but I didn't see that because his dad's a reptile guy. So I just looked at it as, geez, you're a spoiled little kid. You don't even know your reptile stuff. But he had his own thing. So
Yeah.
I shouldn't
Well,
judge
it's
that.
kind of like watching Star
That's
Trek:
big
The
movie.
Next Generation and watching with Will Smith. Will not Will Smith. Will
Well, Smith,
the kid.
the kid. The block.
The
Oh.
doctor's son.
Yeah, Wesley.
Kind of like watching Wesley, except Wesley's
Crusher.
not as.
Get the Star Trek facts
Wesley
straight,
has
baby.
nicer-
Don't even come alive.
He doesn't. No,
Why
he
do you even
doesn't.
bother waking up in the morning, Sherry? Don't you know Wesley Crusher?
I know
You
it,
lost me
but
at
my
Star
brain
Trek.
does.
I don't know why I even know.
Fibrofog. I call Fibrofog. I
I'm
love.
more embarrassed than she is right now. Trust me for knowing this. I used to hate Star Trek. That's all my brother would watch that and cartoons. And I hate cartoons, and I used to hate Star Trek. But something happened when I turned like 30 something. I started watching the old Star Treks, and then that went through. And now that with the Netflix around, I've done watched them all. I guess I like it. I didn't know
Yeah,
it.
you said Star Trek, you lost me, so I had no clue what you're
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
don't blame you. You don't want to go there.
They have spaceships. Okay, that
Yeah,
enough?
Let's
I
stop
know
talking
what
about it. We're gonna we've done the 14 people already. We just said Star Trek for like the 8th time in this show. I seen it earlier, and
Well, does Star Wars do
There's
any worse?
Star Wars is awesome. Y'all can jump off my channel if you don't like Star
Okay,
Wars.
see, I see what it is going there.
I don't even want to hear. I don't like Disney Star Wars. I'll tell you that. And you know,
Oh, I gotta
I
go.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
gonna go help Junior pack his bag. Detective.
yeah. Well, then you gotta go. I don't want to hear. I don't know. Don't tell me, oh, look, Baby Yoda, because I don't hear that shit either. I ain't talking about no Baby Yoda shit.
There was actually, I hadn't
Okay.
seen it, but I heard of
Okay.
it where Baby Yoda was sitting there. This lady, some
Talk about
species
Yodas and shit now.
hatch.
Where you going?
It was last of her line, and here's Baby Yoda eating the eggs of the last of her
Eating the
line
last
of children.
Yeah, little Baby Yoda is a total meme all day long. Hey, I heard an awesome song yesterday that I haven't heard since I was a kid. It was Weird Al Yankovic's Yoda song
Oh yeah,
from Lola.
Yoda,
Yeah.
yo 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 yo
I think this is awesome. My
Yoda.
wife looking at me like I'm a total retard. I shouldn't even say it's a bad word to say. She's looking at me like,
Hi, Taven's world.
Tavian.
What's up,
What a good
Tavio?
dude. He's been busy at it too. I got stuff to catch up with his videos. He's been putting my. I'm thankfully he's been posting them to me. So thank you for doing that, my friend. I think people have been posting them on their Instagrams, and it's easier for me to catch sometimes throughout the day.
Well, guys, I gotta run. I gotta get some stuff done before I go to bed. So,
All right, Jimmy.
Jimmy, I appreciate you so much. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Jimmy from the Python Burrow, you really should. I will be putting his name down below on all my videos from now on. It probably isn't here right now, but it will be. And again, I hope to have you back on when we do some more serious topics
sure.
about things.
Check out his morph market too, man. He makes some amazing stuff over there.
I got like 5 left. That's it.
Yeah, man.
mine's low right now too, but starting in July, it's going to fill up pretty quick.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we're about the end of July, right? August? You should,
What's that?
August. You should start hatching out July,
Oh.
right?
Me and mine
Rum
didn't.
June,
Yeah.
end of June.
Cool.
Well, you could be hatching out right up the rest of the year. You said you should have like a clutch a week.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be out until the next year, next season.
Man, I can't wait. And I'm definitely interested in some of those past puzzle stuff. So keep me in
Okay.
mind. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Good talking,
All right.
everybody. Take it easy. Night.
Take care.
I know somebody's selling a male and female 100% het puzzles.
I do too, I think. I
Puzzle.
think I know what you're talking
Oh.
about.
They're in our community, so
All right, but you're talking about Dylan, D's, right?
no,
No?
he's in Oklahoma.
What are we talking about?
One's Wes OSMR Barrels.
Oh yeah.
Really?
All right, don't say anymore. Shh.
Yep.
We'll talk later.
Yep.
Hey, what's happening, bro?
All right. Well, again, everybody, tonight we were going to talk about this petition that was put out. Andrew actually brought it to my attention earlier in the week, and we started really kind of digging into it and looking into it. He actually did a lot of work. So I want to thank Andrew for doing that work this week. I know he wasn't feeling well. He messaged me this morning. He's like, man, I'm not feeling so great, but I should be good. And then a few hours before the show, he's like, yeah, I'm running a fever. I think I'm just going to chill out, relax. I said, no problem, man. I appreciate the work that you did do. We will discuss this on a later date if we find something more on it. The way I see it right now is what we've seen it's just a formality type thing. It doesn't count against YouTube. As I said in the beginning, YouTube has guidelines. And sometimes those guidelines are hard to understand, but you can get them figured out. And if you stay within those guidelines, you should be just fine. You really should be. And when it comes to, if you're going to do these live feedings and things, and it comes to comments and your comment section, just be polite. Yep. I know the urge to say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, all that stuff. I know that's just be polite. Say, thank you for watching. I understand.
Thanks for your opinion or whatever,
Move on,
It's even better
or
being
no
nice to
reply
people
is what
like
I
that.
do. I just don't reply.
That's all I put is thanks for watching or thanks for your opinion, because if you get a bunch of people, somebody in your comments will actually argue with the people in the comments, so you don't have to do nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you do say something, the fun thing is that the nicer you are, the more they get peeved off. Because you're being nice.
Actually, I had some subscribers from being nice like
you
that.
Can turn a perfect example of this stuff, that person that won the 3,000 subscriber giveaway. It was kind of a weird situation, you know what I mean? I said some stuff that wasn't it wasn't bad or anything, really. It wasn't even that it wasn't kosher, to be honest with you. It was encouraging in my point of view to my subscribers that are commenting all the time. But I didn't honestly take in the consideration of how, if somebody won a prize like that, and how they would feel hearing, don't worry, everybody, that person's never going to contact me. You all still got a chance. You know what I mean? I get that. All right. But even when you're trying to do something nice, sometimes, you can piss on somebody's Cheerios. And
it's something I've learned too, is with the live streams is, we see everybody in here all the time, and I'm grateful for everybody that hangs out, but it's the people that we never see that listen to our live streams in the background that we don't know who's watching, So
yeah, definitely. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but very sorry for that, Daniel. Lost a lot of friends on motorcycles. I've actually been in enough accidents that I shouldn't even be here, and a couple times I didn't think I was going to be. But really sorry for that, man, and that is a shame. That is a shame.
Sorry to hear that, Daniel.
Yeah.
What?
2 kids.
Doc still has it in there. Does he?
Scared. I got to ride a motorcycle home tonight there, Daniel, and there's a million deer out there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Be careful going home, man.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I bounce out pretty well.
I'm going to jump off here too, guys.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Just wrap yourself with bubble wrap.
I got to go jump in a shower, and I got to get ready to go to work in the morning. So, and then this kid's going to be leaving for Texas in the morning. So this kid's traveling the country. He just got back yesterday.
If he grows any more, he's going to have to get 2 seats for a plane.
He was in Pittsburgh. He went to Pittsburgh for Pirates Cup game.
You see that picture of the graduation with him and his daughter and his son? Probably his ex-wife.
Yeah, it's my ex-wife.
His son looked like he'd stick Kurt right in his pocket. Come on, Dad, let's go for a walk. He stick you right in his pocket. You jingling around there with his change and shit.
Well, everyone's saying Kurt. Be careful.
Yeah. Well, it's funny on that right there, though. It's funny because I've had a couple people say, man, your son looks just like his mom. And I'm like, that's not his mom.
Yeah, I was going to say, we all know it's the milkman that he looks like.
That's a
for you young kids, they used to deliver milk to your house. That's how it was. And he used to
little glass bottles.
And if the mailman wasn't hitting your mom at first, then he would.
Well, no mailman can hit my
I'll
mom.
see you guys later. Appreciate you
There's
having
a
me
lot
on.
of truth to that mailman and housewives back in the day. I thought that kind of a joke. That was actually a thing.
See, Kurtwood.
Kurtwood did the
All right,
best.
yeah.
I love it, bro.
Take care. Have fun.
Okay.
I bet.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
So how do you like doing these longer streams, Jason?
I haven't done the one I want yet, guys and gals. I promise you I will. I don't like making excuses, but I like to be honest with stuff. I'm not having a good time with this house thing. Like I found myself kind of feeling weird, and I don't like get like that.
Right.
And it kind of felt like my wife was not doing well, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And
Right.
that's kind of feeling I'm getting lately. I have no idea where it's coming from. I think it's just old. I don't know what it is, but it was stressing me out really bad. Like I hate it when somebody tries to sell you something. You know what I mean? Like, don't look. I'm buying what I want.
Right.
You're a real estate agent. You don't know shit about mold. You don't know shit about furnaces. You don't know shit about roofs. Just let me do my thing here. Don't you keep telling me about this chandelier? The freak is that chandelier gonna do for me? Honestly, I don't get it. Unless it's about to fall down. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to know about this shit.
Just take it down and sell it.
People think I'm a nice person.
Put up a different one.
You all think that I'm super nice, and I am a nice person. Don't get me wrong, but I'm too much of a realist. Like I only entertain a conversation for about a half a second before you really realize that I consider you dumb, and I hate that about myself because I'm just like, you're wasting my time with this shit. Where the fuck is the plug? Not a plug, lady. I mean, and why do they got to walk me to the plug? Just say aisle 5. I don't want to walk with you across Walmart to get a plug. I know I'm a dick. I told you guys, you don't believe me.
Well, no, I mean I'm the same way. If I'm wanting to look at a new truck or a new vehicle or whatever, I go on like Sundays when they ain't open. That way I can look around at shit. I don't have a salesman up my ass because I want to look and just see. I'm there, and when I find something, then I'll come talk to you.
Yeah. Well, I just held them. I hand them. I don't even have one in front of me. I hand them my old business card, sales consultant, Blue Con Windows. I just like, look, I do this for a living too. I'm gonna go buy a car now. I'll tell you which one in a little bit. My bank's gonna handle all this. I don't need to deal
sorry
with
about your mom.
Hell yeah.
Sorry about your mom, Lady Suda. My mom died 3 years ago, and you look at it and it's really what happened. So sorry.
Well, buddy, I'm gonna hop off here. Hell, you've been on 2.5 hours. That's good for you, man.
That's pretty darn good for you.
Again, I got an egg cug coming out here soon. So Chris, Iron Dog, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go for about maybe an hour before you guys go on within the next day or so. And I'll let everybody know. I'll try and put something out, but it will be before you guys go on. I'll do a live egg cutting and then try and segue right into your guys' show. I just want to put that out there because I was kind of hoping maybe something would pip tonight. Matter of fact, before we end this vlog, I'm going to jump up, and if anybody pip, we're going to cut real quick. It's possible.
Yeah, well, let me know because I'll share it out too for you.
Yeah, but that's what my plans are. I do want to have this discussion with some live feeding. I was kind of hoping to see some of the bigger live feeding guys in here. You know what I mean? Because I want them to say their piece. I want them to have a say because they're the ones that are going to lose this. Like I said, I'm going to make my money doing what I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I can't do reptile stuff on YouTube, it will suck a lot.
That would really hit people like Olympic.
It would hit a little bit. It hit a bunch of people.
It hit a lot of people.
I don't want to see my friends go. I get it. I don't watch all of your all's videos all the time. And granted, a lot of you doing these feeding stuff that I just kind of won't watch. But I always try to support. I always jump in, hit a like or whatever. Some stuff, like I said earlier, if it's something that I'm intrigued by, I just seen that centipede eat a deal today. I haven't really seen that. I was interested in to see how that kind of works and whatnot. And boy, does that work! Holy shit! Spooky thing. But I appreciate everybody. I think everybody has something to offer, and I think people had a nasty taste in their mouth about me because I don't like live feeding. It's not that I don't like them. I just don't find them necessary for me to do because it does affect me differently.
Well, not only that, you feed ball pythons all the time, so it's
Yeah, and I don't
know
have
I know what
anything,
and we should know what most people should know what your channel's about anyway, and it's not really about that anyway. You know,
I would like to do a lot more live feedings than I do. I
Right.
don't think that I don't know that if I posted all my live feedings and stuff, that my channel wouldn't be 3 times more where it's at. I could have been doing this for years. Don't think that I don't know that. I do.
Right.
And it's hard. It's hard, but at the same time, you get things. They come at you in a different way. If you don't have a business license, you're sitting at your house, they're not interested in doxing you because they're not necessarily going to hurt anything with you there. But if they can get my town in a shit way, because they go after a business license for things. When you got a
Miguel said the same thing. He said
up,
his best video was a feeding, but he got in trouble, and so he doesn't do them live no more on YouTube.
And again, that's a weird thing too. I think YouTube's going to pick and choose those things. I think any one of you that are doing live feedings could be hit with something like that. Probably just a little strike or something, maybe. You know what I mean? I think that is definitely possible. But it's a hit and miss. I seen that video that he's talking about. It wasn't no different than anything that we've ever done, that I've done. My own channel. So any of us could get hit with that. So like I was saying, I want to talk about this more, but I think it's all in your all's best interest to kind of come up with a little bit of guidelines that you all follow, and you try to hold yourself and let that spread out to protect your channels.
I agree.
I agree. I don't think we should have to do that. I don't like this, that, or the other, but I don't think that somebody should tell you what you can and can't do. I don't like that. I just don't like it.
Yeah, but it's just getting information out there regardless. Go from there with it, what you want to do, and that's just glad you put it out there. It's just like USART. Put it out, we let people know when something's going to happen. I mean,
yeah,
because a lot of people wouldn't know. I would have known about this if you wouldn't have said nothing. I didn't know nothing about it. So,
yeah, well, honestly, I've talked to you about this before because I catch a lot of kind of stuff that some of these, and again, I hate saying these bigger channels because you guys know I don't chase those channels. I know all those people. I know I'm friends with them, but I don't chase their channels. I hang out with my people here because you guys are grounded. You know what I mean? I'm a grounded person here. Once you get so far and you got so many people coming at you and wanting stuff from you all the time, and I've caught a lot of this before, and then I stopped doing YouTube for a little bit. It was getting weird. I got people that join these lives. He won't join mine, but he does join Chris's and them all the time. They'll be asking me to pay their rent, a lot of stuff. I don't know how many family members I've helped be buried.
Yeah.
Not looking, lots of stuff, man. We get people come out of the woodwork. This is like winning the lottery, because you got a subscriber or something. I honestly, I'm going to work in the morning. I work every day of the week. I work just as hard as all you guys. I promise you. I don't have no nest egg. All this for sweat equity. You know what I mean? It isn't anything but. I got regular jobs. I pick up.
Yeah, my fans only page ain't kicking off very good. So
I'm really thinking about doing my fans only page. Whatever happened? Didn't our friends do that? Didn't some of our friends recently decide that was the way they were going to go?
I don't know. I haven't been on that page, so I don't know. I mean, but
me neither. I was like, damn, these people do anything for money. And then they did that. I was like, yep, they're doing anything for money. Hey, more power to them, man. I don't care. I'll have to make
what
$1 million.
Did they do? I missed my
They're
brain.
doing fans only. Some people that were in the reptile community.
Okay.
But that's the funny thing, because like Marita from Deadly Transfer Girl, she'll come right out and say, I got a fans only page, but she doesn't. She goes, women, you don't have to get naked.
No, I don't
and you look at her prices, and and she don't even get naked. She tells exactly what's on there. It's cool. And then you look at the ones we're talking about. $5, it's like renting a porn movie. They said, So, I mean, like, god dang,
But listen, isn't that shit free anyway? Can't you still go to do porn or?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that $5 you're gonna throw it out there,
Because it's somebody if I was gonna jump on that because I knew them and I was like, oh, I get to see so and so's biddies and shit, and then I would pay $5. I don't want to see their biddies.
Yeah, I don't either.
Out of respect for my boy, I don't want to see his old lady's biddies. You know what I mean? It just feels wrong.
I told Rob I was going to buy it. I told Rob, I said, well, you need $5?
Not interested.
It's okay. Why? I said, you need $5? I'll loan it to you, buddy.
That's horrible. Again, everybody, thank you for joining. We're going to get these roundtables kind of worked out, have a little bit. I'm not going to make excuses. I fuck up sometimes. That's how it is.
Everyone does.
Yeah. And then
Ugh, I hate that.
Andrew was sick. It's his fault. He got sick on me. YouTube, those jerks, they did me wrong. Doug's been commenting in here. Probably has something to do with it. No, I do see some other talk going on here. Again, if anybody ever needs to reach out to anybody for any reasons at all, I think all of our emails are there for you. If we can't help you, we'll find somebody that can. And I'll be real with you. If I don't know about that, I don't know if I can make you feel better, but talk to this person, make you feel better. I'll pass it.
Go to my Instagram. As soon as I see it, I'll answer you.
I will forward Sherry's Instagram every time you reach out to me.
There you go.
I might say some dumb shit, man. You'd be worse off. I don't want to fuck around.
Yeah, well, hey.
Stop it up, dude. That ain't real problems. And there we go, man. That ain't gonna help you.
Walk it off or something.
Anyway. Just walk around until it feels better.
There you go.
Patrick streams because I told him right out, don't worry about your glasses or anything like that. Just have fun. So he went on.
Patrick's got a good attitude.
He does. He's a nice.
He's got a good attitude.
He says the same as you, though. You don't know how bad I've been before. So.
No, I can believe it. He looks like a piece of shit at one time. Patrick, don't join my live. No, he looks like a dick.
No, I just tossed you off my life.
He got upset with me, I think, that one night because he was, I don't know, it felt like he was bragging about not going to school or something, or talking about going to school one day. And I'm like, well, there's your problem there. I mean, shit, how are you going to know shit? You go to school one day out of the week. I mean, out of the month. You're there one day out of the week. But I was just being funny. I wasn't trying to be a dick.
Yeah, you just play around. But the thing I like about, or one of the things I like about Patrick is that when he finds something, like a new animal, he'll ask people and he'll go online and he'll check things up. He'll look everything up as much as he can. And then he will, if you give him some constructive criticism nicely, he will look at it and figure on whether he appreciates, he wants to go with it or not. And a lot of times if he finds something that he's been doing not quite as well as it should be, he will change it.
Right on.
So he's pretty good at that.
You kind of in love with this guy? You want me to set something up for you?
18-year-old kid? No.
Hey, I don't know.
Besides, I have my husband. What would I want with
you
anyone
keep bringing
else?
him up. I've never seen the guy. He's not even real. Shut up. Stop. We know he's not real. Who's my husband? Has anybody else seen the mythical husband? I've only seen his pants. Who knows who's in the pants?
Yeah, who's in the pants?
You got roommates and shit. There's no husband. You're afraid of snakes. That's why you ain't got no snakes. You've been blaming your husband for years.
No, I used to scare the boys with snakes when I was a teen.
All right. Well, I truly do love you all. So please, everybody, subscribe to everybody out here. Trying to make the community a little bit better. And you all have been
subscribe to each other as well out there.
Don't subscribe to Sherry because she's got a fake husband. You can subscribe to Chris though because he's got some really beautiful hair.
Yeah, you've seen all the reptiles and all the cats.
Sherry,
and
you
the
are
dogs.
welcome back anytime. And to be honest with you, I would love. I was kind of hoping I could find somebody that would join some of these roundtables when we have some serious discussions, when we try to make some law. Not really everybody. But somebody that can kind of keep an eye on that chat with that stuff. That is a big, giant help. It's not a shit job. I'm not trying to give you a shit job. And I'll definitely throw something your way as a little, hey, thank you type of thing. But you'd be a good person for that. But there is rules. And the rules are you can't read any comments from Ball Python Love because I haven't seen him in here. Let's see.
He was in here earlier.
I know, my kid. So anybody who doesn't comment, you're not allowed to talk about none of the crap ever.
Okay, no Ball Python Love. Okay, who
no,
else
but
am
I would
not supposed to
appreciate
talk
that. And Chris, of course, like I've said in
Chris too?
these videos, I'd love to have you on some of these things. I know you do a lot of the live shows, so that's why I haven't bothered really you and Justin about stuff because I know that you guys do a lot of live throughout the week, and you guys definitely need some time. But every now and then, I think you could say a lot of things that if I say it doesn't come out good or right, or the certain group of people aren't really listening to what I say. And then, but if you say it comes from you as well, and I think I have people on my side as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
But But you've been a tremendous help to this community and to myself. I mean, we kind of go back a little bit too. And there's a few people that reached out to me after that crap went down. You're one of them, and I can't respect you enough. Same thing goes with that one dude doing the $5 fans only thing. What's his name? He reached out to me too. He didn't give me a free $5 view of his But whoa, Crazy Stang right here. This is another old friend of mine.
Hey, Crazy.
Yeah, this guy. Dude, it's good to see you in here. Please join more of these and jump in. Make a video. Tell us how you're doing. His name is Dan. Pat Skilly's an awesome guy. A vet. Thank you for your service, my friend. Big time. Big time. And this guy is also inspiring to open up his own barbecue type deal. I don't think there's a person, and I've been around this shit. I'm not blowing smoke. And I didn't think this guy had it in him when he first started. But this guy can smoke and cook about anything. He's literally been going to homes. People have been hiring him to come to homes. Started it himself from scratch.
Crazy, you have got to come into a stream sometime, and I'll come in and we can talk shop about what happens in vet clinics.
Well,
I've never. I know what it is, but I don't. I'm a free you porn guy, and that's only when you got the weird stuff going on. I love granny porn, big time into granny porn.
Not just what happens inside the vet clinics. It's kind of interesting. The things that people say are.
Where are we going with this? Vet clinics? What kind of stuff are you into?
He was a vet for our country.
Never mind.
I'm talking about fans only, and she's talking about doing it in the vet clinic.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant veterinarian. I am so sorry.
Oh, crap. Yes, he did go by Soul Healing Morse back in the day. A great guy.
Cool.
Your mom
a guy that I haven't talked to.
I've only got fibro, which is close enough.
I should have over the past year, and I'm sorry for that. I do want to tell you that, and don't think that I haven't noticed it, man. I probably should have reached out to you a little bit more. I'm sorry. The fuck are you laughing about? It's a serious thing.
No. I was laughing about.
I love putting people on the. Hey man, it's serious stuff. I love to shed a tear.
Fine, I'm laughing at you.
It's funny. That's a lie. No,
I always laugh at you. You know that.
Yes, laughing is all laughing. I don't care. You all can talk to me all day long. I don't care.
Okay, I'll laugh with you. How's that?
All right, buddy. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Jump on the video. And as always, I love you all. See me bye.
See ya.
Y'all.